The calendar month flips over to July as the Sasquatch welcomed the Nebraska Plainsmen for the first of, or probably the prospects for the first of 3 games here on this homestand. Not the Zap. It is the Plainsmen who are coming to town here to begin the month of July. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the press box here at Black Hills Energy Stadium. I'm Ari Wall. Well, the Sasquatch are trying to ride a red-hot offense into the month of July, a month that treated the Sasquatch well. For the Sasquatch, they are 8-2 in their past 10 games. The prospects, maybe not so much, only 3-7 over their past 10 games. And the Plainsmen, they're on the tip of my tongue. That's because the Sasquatch are coming off a 5-game set against the Plainsmen, where they were able to win, or I think it was a 6-game set, actually. The Sasquatch were able to sweep all 6 games and trying to ride that momentum into the month of July, trying to continue that success against the prospects here today, the first of 3 games coming up on this Monday afternoon. The Sasquatch, as a team, they have 7 of 9 guys in their starting lineup who are batting above 300 this season. Only 2 guys who are not. This is a red-hot offense, probably the best offense in the ILB. Only rival is the Casper Spuds to this point. So we'll see if the Sasquatch can continue that offensive momentum. They'll also look to a new arm on the mound, as Luis de los Santos will be taking the bump for the Sasquatch today. It'll be his first outing with the Sasquatch, and he is making the start for Spearfish. So we'll get to see him for the first time. I talked to head coach Justice Scott, asked him if he's seen him throw it all, and he said no, he hasn't been able to see him throw it all, not even in the bullpen. So this is the first look we're all getting at Luis de los Santos, and we'll have that first look for you right here on YouTube. So when we come back, lineups, first pitch, and baseball, the Sasquatch and the prospects, the first of 3 games to kick off the month of July, and it's all coming up when we come back.
And throwing out the ceremonial first pitch for tonight's ball game is none other than Smokey the Bear. He's going to be celebrating his 80th birthday in August. Let's not show your age, Smokey. Let's get one right down the middle.
Getting set for baseball here at Black Hills Energy Stadium as the Sasquatch welcome the Nebraska Prospects. It's the first of 3 games between these two teams here to kick off the month of July. Welcome into a new month, and hopefully for the Sasquatch, the offense continues after what was a great month of June. Let's take a look at the Prospects starting lineup here today. Drew Borner is the DH, and he leads off. Easton Swafford bats second. Jackson Trout bats third. Jacob Perrin cleans up. Bodie Waller, the first baseman, bats fifth. Ashton Graff Rowe bats sixth. Corey Kozad, the catcher, bats seventh. Gage Allen, eighth. Paul Schuyler will round out the order. He is batting ninth. And that lineup is taking on the starting pitcher for the Sasquatch, as it is Luis De Los Santos, who will be making his first outing with the Sasquatch this summer. Came to the team a little bit late, and we'll take a look at what he's done so far in college. Those were his numbers last year: 2-8, a 9.20 ERA, 2.24 WHIP in 45 innings pitched. You see 6 foot, 215 out of Bethany College from Orlando, Florida. And like mentioned, this is his first appearance with the Sasquatch. Talked with head coach Justice Scott about maybe what we can expect from De Los Santos, and he said he's stretched out like a starter, so expect to see him throw starter type numbers. 70 to 80 pitches is around the limit he's hoping to get out of De Los Santos, and he hasn't been able to see him pitch yet. Neither have we, of course, and so this will be our first taste of De Los Santos this year. The Sasquatch as a team have lost a couple arms already. A couple guys no longer with the team after leaving, so they're going to be looking to some of these other guys to maybe step up. We saw Nathan Harb step up in a big way yesterday with a great start. And so looking to see the same from De Los Santos today, as he'll be going up against the Prospects team that is just 3-7 in their last 10 games. The umpires for today are Brandon Moore and Dustin Moore, and it is a gorgeous Monday afternoon, 71 degrees, as we get first pitch at 6:06 p.m. De Los Santos ready on the mound. Borner ready at the plate. And the first pitch is in there for strike one on Borner. Borner this season, now this is his 12th game played, entering today, 11 games played, and a .273 batting average for Borner. Getting the spot in the leadoff position. Grounds this one weakly towards short. Micah Coleman ranging over towards the bag. He'll throw high over at first, and Finn can't come down with it as he missed a high target, and 6'7" Kyle Finn over at first base. Ball wasn't hit particularly hard, but that's going to be an error at Micah Coleman at shortstop, allowing Borner to reach. That brings up Easton Swafford to the plate. Swafford, the other shortstop in today's game. First pitch is fouled away along the left side. Nathan Harb didn't get a whole lot of help from his defense yesterday, as the Sasquatch committed a couple errors behind him, leading to 4 runs, but only 2 of them earned going against Harb in yesterday's game. Borner a bit of a speed threat over at first. He's 2 of 3 on stolen base attempts this season. A 1 is roped into right field. This ball gets down in front of Marcial. Going from first to third is the leadoff man, Drew Borner, and he's in there without a throw. So an error and a single to right field have the Prospects in striking position here in the top of the first inning. Brings up now Jackson Trout to the plate. Trout, the third man in the order. This is only his 3rd game played, but in his previous 2, he's been hitting the ball pretty well. Got now Swafford off of first and Borner off of third. Pitch high to Trout. 2 for 7 for Trout so far this season. A pair of RBIs and a run scored. .571 OPS. And mentioned this is only his 3rd game played, so just joining the team. He's wearing number 1, which was originally worn by Grant Ryan, who has since departed. Check in at first, and Swafford is back in time. Stolen bases might be something to look out for today. The Sasquatch entering today, only 39 stolen bases on 50 attempts, while the Prospects have 45 on 54 attempts, so they definitely run a little bit more than Spearfish does. 1-0 misses inside. Counts 2-1. A lot of those stolen bases are coming from the guy who is not in the order today, Blake Stanger, who has stolen 17 of them today. Looking at about high 80s right now from De Los Santos. As mentioned, this is our first time seeing him, so we're getting a look at his pitch mix for the first time. See a fastball looked like a curveball that missed earlier in this at-bat. Long pause ahead of a 2-0 is fouled away along the right side. Looking like maybe 3-pitch mix, fastball, curveball, slider from De Los Santos. Got to look at the slider there. Couple guys like Benchen, Jackson, Renz, Easton Brooks, and Colin Anderson. All guys that started a decent amount of games for the Sasquatch will not be with them the rest of the way. Saw Braden Gostisha play his last game as well with the Sasquatch. The outfielder hit a home run. Good way to say goodbye to the summer. 2-1. Ground ball to second. Maybe they'll turn 2. It gives a high chop to Bachman. They'll get 1 at second. The throw to first just not in time. Good speed from Jackson Trout. Beats out the double play and will give him an RBI after a fielder's choice. So scoring from third is Borner. Swafford is out at second. The Sasquatch get their first out. But a run does come in to score, and the Prospects are on the board. Look at the defense there. In the outfield, you've got Tate Green and Marcial in the outfield. The infield third to first, Darnall, Coleman, Bachman, and Finn. And then it's Nolan Ackerman who will do the catching today. Catching the new pitcher, Luis De Los Santos, as fires a fastball in the top part of the zone, gets foul tipped into the mitt off the bat of Jacob Perrin. Perrin is today's beer batter at the ballpark. It's not Corey Kozad, who was the beer batter all 3 games when the Prospects came here the first time. Probably a bit of a relief for him. Or maybe he enjoyed the pressure. I remember when he was here, he was enjoying hearing the crowd chant for strikeouts, and I don't think he struck out the entire series, maybe once. This is a guy, though, at the plate in Jacob Perrin that's tough to strike out. You saw the numbers, 407 batting average, 5 RBIs on the season, but De Los Santos hoping to pick up his first K with the Sasquatch and do it in a big way. 0-2. Sails outside. A good eye there from Perrin. That's why you're batting 407, is when you can take pitches like that. So 407, 543 on base percentage, I should say, and a OPS above 1,000 on the season for Perrin. Batting with Jackson Trout over at first after his RBI fielder's choice. Drops in a breaking ball for strike 3. Good looking curveball from Luis De Los Santos. The beer batter Jacob Perrin is retired. Take a look at the key to the game for the Sasquatch today. It's a new team, but that's not supposed to stop them, and hoping that they can continue the momentum. We're turning it back to 1979, a little bit of disco. Ain't no stopping us. Sasquatch hoping that that is the case, coming off of 6 straight wins and 8-2 in their last 10. Ain't no stopping this offense, that's for sure. We'll see if the Prospects can do it today. So they'll be rolling out Cameron Pickens in the bottom of the first inning. We'll introduce you to him when we get there. First pitch ball to Bodie Waller, who digs in now from the left side. Throw over to first on Trout. Waller, today's first baseman, a teammate of Ryan Bachman's at Mount Marty University. 5 for 25 on the year across 11 games played entering today. Clean batting average of 200 on the dot. Another good-looking curveball there from De Los Santos. I'd argue that Russell Peterson has the best-looking curveball on the team. We got to see it a couple nights ago when he mowed through the Plainsman order, picking up 9 strikeouts. He's got a great-looking curveball, but what we're seeing right now from De Los Santos is maybe one that can rival that of Peterson. Runner goes from first. The pitch is in the dirt, and Ackerman's going to let it fly, though nobody's covering, and Micah Coleman's able to cut it off from going in the outfields. So there you see the stolen bases like I was talking about. The prospects definitely like to run more, and they do so more efficiently than the Sasquatch do. They swipe one here in the first inning on the Sasquatch's best overall defensive catcher in Nolan Ackerman. Runner in scoring position now with 2 away. There's another good-looking off-speed that catches the zone. Even count finished the point on Ackerman. Entering today, runners were just 6 of 9 against him. He had 3 caught stealing, so now 60% efficiency for runners, 6 of 10 against Ackerman this season. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. The pitch from De Los Santos is swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the frame. The prospects bring home an unearned run after a leadoff error comes around to score against Luis De Los Santos. Sasquatch bats hoping to make up for it, trailing 1-0 when we come back.
So surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
Road trips are measured in miles of uncontrollable laughter, comfortable silence, and new memories. And for 50 years, Super 8 has been there for wherever your journey takes you. So when the open road calls for a good night's rest, you can depend on Super 8's modern rooms at over 2,000 locations. Plus, earn Wyndham Rewards points for every stay. Super 8, one of 24 trusted brands by Wyndham. See you on the road.
Spot-on teamwork saves me so much time. I haven't spent a single minute in my back office this week. Teamwork simplifies employee communications, scheduling, tip-outs, and payroll. It even syncs with my POS, so I know my data is accurate. All right, tips are out. In fact, teamwork has saved me so much time, I was able to take today off to film this.
Cut! Now remember, you really hate that back office.
Trailing 1-0 in the bottom half of the first inning, the Sasquatch won't be able to score first, but they can still rack up some first inning runs as we'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Sasquatch today. One of their top lineups, in my opinion, as you've got Seth Nelson, the DH, leading things off, Ben Green in center field batting second. Cal Finn, the first baseman, bats third. Ryan Bachman fourth. Dylan Darnall will bat fifth. Javier Marcial in right field, he bats sixth. Nolan Ackerman seventh. Ben Tates in left field, he bats eighth. And Micah Coleman rounds out the order, batting ninth. And that lineup for the Sasquatch is going up against the starting pitcher for the Prospects. It is Cameron Pickens who will take the bump as his first pitch to Nelson is swung on and missed. Pickens on the season, a 9.23 ERA, 12 2/3 innings pitched, 15 runs and 13 earned runs on the season. As the pitch is high there to Nelson. Now, 1-1 strike. See Nelson in the leadoff spot today. We've seen already a couple times Nelson bat in the leadoff position and Bachman slide down to 4. Sometimes Bachman leads off and Nelson bats behind him. Today, head coach Justice Scott going with Nelson atop the order. Nelson, Green, Finn, Bachman, and Darnall, the first 5 in the order. All of those guys are batting above 300. 7 of 9 guys in this batting order are batting above 300. Nelson pops this one foul. It's almost a disservice to say that Nelson is batting above 300 when he's batting 370 like you saw on screen. 370 batting average, 451 on base and an OPS still above 1,000. 17 RBIs, 16 runs scored, and he's also 5 of 6 on stolen bases. He does possess more speed than Bachman. He fouls this one off, part of the reason why he's probably at the top of the order, and I love the way Ryan Bachman described the way he runs. He runs like he's angry all the time, which is a very accurate description. He just runs hard and pounds into the ground every time he runs. Pickens home on the 2-2. This one is off the outside corner, a full count. Sasquatch, like I talked about in the open, as a team batting .314. That's best in the ILB, and when you look at their offensive numbers, really them and the Casper Spuds are far and away the best offenses in the league. They're also the top 2 teams now in the league, as the Sasquatch have sole possession of second place overall. This one's grounded, first base line, over the bag. It's a fair ball, and it goes into the corner and nearly past the right fielder, Trout. Nelson will dig into second, a stand-up double for Seth Nelson. Sasquatch are right back in business here with a leadoff double in the bottom of the first. The defense today behind Cameron Pickens in the outfield. You've got Jacob Perrin out in left, Ashton Graff Rose in center, and then Jackson Trout is over in right field. The infield third to first. Gage Allen is at third, Easton Swafford at short. Right side of the infield, you've got Paul Schuyler and Bodie Waller. And then Corey Kozad is doing the catching today, and he's catching Cameron Pickens. Ben Green digs in. This one's rounded along the first baseline, and again, a past diving Waller. Nelson is going to get the wave home from third. Strong throw to the plate. It's on the money, but Nelson is in there in time. RBI single for Ben Green. Back-to-back base hits, and the Sasquatch are back to a tie ball game, courtesy of Ben Green and the speed of Seth Nelson. We're back to tied. Corners were playing a little bit in on Ben Green. You can tell by his size that he would be a guy that slaps the ball a little bit and hits the ball maybe on the infield. Maybe they were expecting a bunt, but with the way he's swinging the bat, you'd be quickly wrong to assume that about Ben Green. 3 home runs on the season for him. Here's a guy that you probably don't assume will do that, and Kyle Finn, 6'7". Mentioned that on the air over at shortstop when Coleman overthrew him. Kyle Finn possessing a lot of power. You looked at his numbers on the season, batting over 300, like mentioned, 329. Green took a couple steps towards second, then shut it down. Finn, a pair of home runs on the season and 12 extra base hits. And in the month of June, he batted .302. Both of his home runs came in that month, and 17 of his 26 RBIs, as well as 17 of his 24 runs scored, came in the month of June. Another check over at first base on Ben Green. The Sasquatch don't run a whole lot in comparison to the prospects, but Ben Green is a guy who does possess some speed. He is 6 of 8 on stolen bases, which is a top Sasquatch in terms of stolen bases this season. Again, he takes a couple steps, but retreats back to the bag as the count goes to 2-1 here on Finn. The prospects put up a run in the top of the first inning. Sasquatch get one right back in the bottom half of the frame. Looking to do some more damage on a 2-1. This one is just inside on Finn. 3 balls and a strike. We've got Ryan Bachman waiting on deck. First innings have been a good inning for the Sasquatch this season. They've scored quite a bit first innings, or quite a bit of first inning runs, including they had 11 in their 26-6 game against the Plainsmen just a couple days ago. Green takes off on a 3-1. It's popped up along the right side. Green is retreating over to first base. The ball staying up there, and it's caught over there at first by Bodie Waller. So Finn pops out to first, and Green retreats back to the bag. One away, and Ryan Bachman coming to the box. Bachman usually sitting at the leadoff spot, but today down in the 4-hole, but I'm sure you could bat him anywhere and he'd be successful. .374 batting average. On-base percentage still above 500 at .504. Couple home runs as well on the season for Ryan Bachman. 32 runs scored. He's the franchise leader in a lot of categories. This is his 4th year with the team, so you'd expect that, but franchise leader in hits, RBIs, and runs scored with 32 runs. Getting close to a 200 mark as he hits this one into right field. That's going to get down and split the gap. Ben Green was going on the pitch. He's headed for third, and he'll stop right there. Throw comes into the infield and gets away a little bit, but nobody's going to advance. A single from Bachman. First to third goes Green. Sasquatch threatening to take an early lead now with runners on the corners and just one away. You look up and down this lineup for the Sasquatch as Darnall is set to come up. Mound visit with the whole infield for the prospects. You look up and down this lineup for the Sasquatch. There's really no weak spot as a team. See what the Sasquatch have done this season. Like mentioned, a .314 batting average. That's best in the ILB. As a team, 22 home runs, .427 on base percentage as a team, and an .882 OPS. They've scored 10 or more runs in 8 of their last 13 games. Of course, you got a couple of those games coming against the Plainsmen, who are a team with a smaller roster and still looking for their first win of the season. But a win is a win, and everybody has to get involved and put together good at-bats, and that's what the Sasquatch have done. Darnall ropes one into left center field. This ball might get down, and it will, into left center. Green will score easily. Bachman hustling around third. He's going to be waved home. Throw comes over, and no throw to the plate. 2-run double for Dylan Darnall. Sasquatch take the lead. It's 3-1. Dylan Darnall, you saw while I was talking the numbers up on screen for Darnall and what he's done this year, but another guy in the order that's batting over 300 and on a torrent stretch at the plate. And you see why the Sasquatch have put up as many runs as they have. 3 runs here in the first inning, only 1 out recorded. Now Javier Marcial at the dish. With Darnall now off of second, 3-1 Sasquatch in front. As Marcial looks at strike 1. Marcial finished up a pretty good month of June. .341 batting average in June, where he was 15 for 44. Raised his batting average that was 0 after no hits in the month of May, up to .231 on the season. Couple home runs in June. Checked his swing on that pitch and held up. Couple home runs, 11 RBIs, and 14 runs scored. That's all just in the month of June. So ball and a strike with 1 away to Marcial. Marcial cuts and misses. Will it be a foul tip? It will be. Marcial's saying maybe he didn't tip him. But it is a foul tip. Darnall's going to have to go back to second as a result. 3 hits already in the inning for the Sasquatch, so all these runs earned against Cameron Pickens, unlike the run in the top half of the frame that was unearned against Sasquatch starter Luis de los Santos. Pickens trying to work through a long bottom half of the first. 1-2. In the air left field. Going back on it is Groff Rowe, headed towards the gap in left center. He makes the catch. Darnall's going to try to tag. Throw comes in all the way to third, but not in time. Fly ball by Marcial advances Darnall to third. It's the second out of the inning. But Darnall moves 90 feet closer, head of the at-bat to Nolan Ackerman. Ackerman's a guy who we haven't gotten to see a whole lot. He came to the team a little bit late after spending the summer with the Sasquatch last year, so this is only his 6th game played, but the number's really good for him. He's 8 for 15 in those 5 games played. He had his first home run of the season last week. 10 RBIs and 7 runs scored, pardon me. He gets a ground ball to short. Swafford takes a step back and throws across the diamond to get Ackerman at first to end the frame. Sasquatch bring home 3 runs on 4 hits. They leave a runner stranded, and they carry a 3-1 lead after 1.
road trips are measured in miles of uncontrollable laughter, comfortable silence, and new memories. And for 50 years, Super 8 has been there for wherever your journey takes you. So when the open road calls for a good night's rest, you can depend on Super 8's modern rooms at over 2,000 locations. Plus, earn Wyndham Rewards points for every stay. Super 8, one of 24 trusted brands by Wyndham. See you on the road.
When you venture to Spearfish in the Black Hills of South Dakota, you'll find rugged hiking and biking trails, extreme rock climbs, and views that will take your breath away. Plan a Spearfish vacation and come find your adventure. Spearfish, my great place in South Dakota.
Top of the second inning, the Sasquatch take an early lead with 3 runs in the bottom half of the first inning to help out their starter, Luis De Los Santos. First outing of the year for De Los Santos, and it's coming in a start against the Prospects. Facing now 6, 7, 8 in the order. The first pitch is fouled away. Strike one off the bat of Ashton Graff Rowe. He's played 7 games to this point, only 1 hit in 24 at-bats, so the average not a pretty 0.42. No runs batted in and only 3 runs scored on the season. Making the start in center field. Usually you've got Blake Stenger out there in center, who's one of the best hitters in the ILB and one of the better hitters, of course, on this team. But no Stenger in the order. Maybe we'll see him off the bench. Checked his swing. Yes, he did. That's strike 2 against Graff Rowe. De Los Santos didn't get any help at the beginning of the ball game. A ground ball to shortstop. Micah Coleman threw it over the head of Finn, resulting in an error and an unearned run. He struck out the last 2 guys to end the frame. Get 3 in a row here with a punch out to Graff Rowe. He yanks the fastball outside. Our baseball ops interns behind the scene, Blake Bolin, who gives us the amazing pitch data. He helped us out with the pitch mix for Luis De Los Santos. Fastball, changeup, slider, curve. The 4-pitch mix for De Los Santos, and the fastball in the mid to high 80s. Good looking breaking ball there, but couldn't get the swing off of Graff Rowe as he bounced it in the dirt. Good pitch to go to, though, on 2-2. Almost got the chase. See what he decides to go with now on a full count. Fastball is into left field, and that's going to get down for a hit in front of Tate. So Graff Rowe begins the top of the second inning with a single. Now it'll be Corey Kozad to come to the box. Mentioned for Kozad, he had himself a fun series the first time the Prospects came here. As he was the beer batter every game, all 3 games in a row. So every at-bat, fans were locked in on what was going on. Today, maybe they won't be as much. Kozad, the catcher now, batting with Graff Rowe off of first base. Swing and a miss there on the first pitch. Look at Kozad's numbers this season. 278, 11 games played. He's 10 for 36, 9 runs batted in and 5 runs scored. He's also walked 9 times. That's why his batting, or his on-base percentage, I should say, is .413. He's had himself a very productive summer. 0-1, runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. Ackerman's throw down to second is not in time. Graff Rowe swipes his second stolen base of the season. Took a good pitch to run on, as it was an off-speed from De Los Santos, but gets the strike on Kozad, so 0-2 on the catcher. Stolen bases, like I said, are going to be something to look out for. The prospects run quite a bit. They're 2 of 2 on stolen bases so far. Big lead at second base. Here's the 0-2. Curveball missed it high. Ben Tate out in left field, playing fairly deep on Kozad. Rest of the outfield's normal depth. 1-2. Ground ball, left side. Coleman goes into a dive. He can't get it, and it goes into left field. They're going to wave home. Graf row throw comes all the way into home, but well late. And thanks to the stolen base, the RBI single brings home a run for Corey Kozad and cuts the deficit to a pair. Or pardon me, just one, actually. It's 3-2.
Now batting for the prospects, number 17, third baseman, Gage Allen.
Kozad could be off and moving as well. He's 2 for 2 of stolen bases this season. We'll see if they try to put some action again on the base pass as Gage Allen bats. Looks at a fastball high for ball 1. Small lead off of first for Kozad. Long pause, and De Los Santos will throw over. .10 is pop foul, now an even count. You saw the numbers for Allen, 150 on the season, 370 on base percentage. Scored 5 runs so far this year. This is now his 9th game played. One on the corner now, strike 2. Prospects, they don't count towards the ILB standings in the sense that if they ended up finishing second in the ILB or with the best record in the second half, they wouldn't get a spot in the playoffs, but these games do count towards the record, and they are 5-12 entering today. The Sasquatch now 11 losses on the season thanks to, or I should say 18 wins and 11 losses thanks to a long win streak, 6 in a row, all of them coming against the Plainsmen and going 8-2 over their past 10 games. Jumped out to a undefeated second half and the best, or the second best record in the league as a whole. Locks up Allen there on the breaking ball. First out of the inning on a strikeout looking. As he sets down Allen, and now the 9-hole hitter, Paul Schuyler, will bat for the first time. Be the last guy to face Luis De Los Santos in this first time through the order. Schuyler's only played a limited amount of games so far this summer, but in those games he's been one of their better bats. Second baseman, acting as a second leadoff guy. Watches the first pitch sail outside. 9 games played entering today, 7 for 19. 368 batting average, the 868 OPS. And another guy with speed as he's 5 of 5 on stolen bases. So we got to look out for if he does reach base. Kozad dancing off first, and De Los Santos alert, but a throw not in time. Kozad again moving off of first. Santos comes home with it, and the pitch is into left field. Back on it going Tate. He's a couple steps in front of the track to make the catch. Ball hit well off the bat of Schuyler, but the left fielder Tate comes up with the grab, and that's the second out of the inning. Keeping Kozad over at first base. Santos has a chance after the first 2 guys with singles, a chance to just limit the damage to 1. Let's go back to the top of the order and Drew Borner. You might notice Ben Tate's over out in left field today as opposed to starting third base and first base earlier this summer, but moved out to the outfield where he is more comfortable, and that's really his normal spot, is playing out in the outfields. today getting that start in left field. I believe it's his first start in the outfields. So you look at the infield today with Darnall, Coleman, Bachman, and Finn. Those are all 4 guys that are having great years at the plate, all 4 of them. Part of that mix of guys batting above 300. Wano checked his swing, he went around. Borner offers at that pitch. Now count goes to 1-1. Borner was the guy who led off the ball game with the ground ball to shortstop. Reached on an error from Micah Coleman and scored the run off of the RBI fielder's choice from Jackson Trout. This pitch is outside. Kozad took about a step and a half over at first base. De Los Santos, if he would have stepped off, probably could have got him at first. But he didn't step off. He didn't make any flinch on the mound either and just delivered the pitch. That 2-1 is inside. I remember earlier in the season I had a couple conversations with head coach Justice Scott about the running game. The Sasquatch to start the year were having a tough time catching guys stealing. And he said some of that was, of course, the catching and getting them better behind the plate, but also the pitchers needed to hold guys on better. And De Los Santos, from what it looks like right now, he's doing a good job varying how long he holds the ball on the mound. A couple long pauses, a couple shorter ones. Fly ball right center field. Marcial will drift over from right, and he'll make the catch in the gap to end the inning. Couple hits and a run home for the prospects in the top of the second, but the Sasquatch are still in front 3-2 when we come back.
It's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot On has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
A run in for the prospects in the top of the second inning, and the Sasquatch bats will come back up. The bottom of the order, Ben Tate out of the 8th hole, Micah Coleman 9, and then the top of the order, Seth Nelson, will come to the bat here in the bottom of the second against Cameron Pickens. Ground ball, left side, and past Allen over at third. First pitch single for Ben Tate. Like we mentioned, this lineup, top to bottom, Tate, one of the guys not batting 300, but over his last 8 games, he is. And now we'll look at Micah Coleman, who is one of those guys who is above that 300 mark and well above it. He is batting 400 on the season in 15 games played. First pitch strike to Coleman. Shortstop's not always a position you get a lot of offense from, but the two primary shortstops for the Sasquatch are Coleman and Cook, and both guys have been having monstrous summers at shortstop this season. Got Coleman, who's hit safely in 13 of 15 games so far. Set a pitch high to even the count. 16 RBIs as well for Coleman. That's all coming out of the guy who's batting ninth today. Seen Danny Cook quite a bit as well, batting ninth and playing shortstop. This one's up the middle and a base hit for Coleman. Bring that batting average over 400 for Micah Coleman, and a couple singles to begin the second inning for the Sasquatch. First and second, nobody out. Seth Nelson is coming back up. Nelson hit a double just over top the first base bag, just inside the line his first time up. Past the diving Bodie Waller over at first base. Hustled over to second to get the double, and then came home on the Ben Green RBI single. We had Seth Nelson up in the booth yesterday and learned how much of a Star Wars fan he is. So it was Star Wars night at the ballpark, and he was explaining to both Ben Green and everybody watching the Star Wars lore. This is grounded to second. Might be hard to turn two as they get one at second. The throw to first is late. Got the speed of Seth Nelson legging that one out, so he does break up the double play. He'll reach on a fielder's choice. Coleman is out at second base, as it was a nice play there by the shortstop, Swafford. Runners now on the corners. One man out. And here's Ben Green. Green, I learned, had not watched a Star Wars movie. That's why Seth Nelson, we had both of them up at the same time yesterday, and Seth was explaining the Star Wars lore to Ben. Lined into left, that's a base hit. Pair of RBI singles on the day already for Ben Green. He brings home Ben Tate, and the Sasquatch with another run extending the lead. Back up to a couple of runs, and now a 4-2 ball game. Nelson heads over to second base. A pair of runners still aboard. And now it's Kyle Finn to bat. Pop out in the first inning. That was the first out Sasquatch recorded. So he looks at strike one. Pickens threw 1 1/3 now to this point. 27 pitches. 7 hits allowed. It's the 1-2 misses. Pickens entering today. 12 2/3 innings pitched, 13 earned runs, 15 total runs, and good strikeouts to walk numbers. 15 strikeouts to 3 walks, but 18 hits allowed across 12 2/3. So he's been around the strike zone, not issuing a lot of walks. He hasn't walked anybody today, but the same number is still applying. 7 hits already to this point as this one's lined and past the diving Swafford into center field. Nelson coming home from second base. He will score. RBI single, make it 8 hits on the day for the Sasquatch as Finn brings home a run with a single, and the Sasquatch now on top 5-2. Obviously, you take what happened in the Plainsman series with a grain of salt, considering the Sasquatch were facing a lot of two-way guys. Position players were pitching a lot of the time for the Plainsmen with such a small roster. They only had a few really solid arms that they could roll out. Sasquatch ended up facing a lot of position players, but 10 runs is still 10 runs, and now you're seeing why, no matter who the other team is rolling out there, Sasquatch are going to be putting up big offensive numbers. 8 hits, 5 runs, and still threatening here in the second inning with runners on first and second, and Ryan Bachman at the plate. Cuts on and misses there. 0-2 on Bachman. 374 batting average for him entering today. Another base hit brings that up a little bit more. So OPS approaching 1,000, entered today at 989. So chance to get back over that 1,000 mark with another good day at the dish. pinwheel move. This is his 26th game played with a base hit. He's reached base in every game, each of those 26, and he's also hit safely in 22 of 26. And now on a 15-game hitting streak. That one's on the outside corner. There's the first strikeout of the game for Cameron Pickens as Bachman is down looking for the first out. So here's Dylan Darnall. We didn't even get to mention what kind of a guy Dylan Darnall's been this season, as he took a first pitch he saw into left field for an RBI double. See if he keeps the aggressive approach here now with 2 away. He will. He swings and misses on a breaking ball. Entered today with a .362 batting average and on an 11-game hitting streak that's now up to 12. And over that streak, with the hit today, he's now batting 17 for 40, which is over 400. Been on fire as of late, as have really the Sasquatch as a whole. Count is a ball and a strike on Darnall. Over the last 6 games against the Plainsmen as a team, they batted .379. Had 10 home runs over that 6-game span. A team OPS above 1,000, close to 1.1. Darnall swings and misses. And we mentioned as well, 8-2 over their last 10 games. Over that span, they've scored 123 runs. So an average of 12.3 runs per game over a 10-game span. That's going to win you a lot of ball games. 1-2 on the way. He looks at that one to even the count. 4 hits in the inning for the Sasquatch. Another 2 runs home. So we've gotten a run in every inning now. The Prospects with 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Sasquatch 3 in the first and 2 in the second. 2 and 2. Darnall might have broken his bat as he grounds it to second base. Schuyler over to first to end the inning. Sasquatch bring him another couple runs, and they'll lead it 5-2 through 2.
Football fans, take your sports wagering experience to the next level at Bet Lodge Sportsbook, the premier sports betting venue in South Dakota. Surrounded by luxury seating, our massive 42-foot seamless video wall is the largest in the area, displaying all of your favorite NFL and college football. Place your bets with our sports desk personnel or visit our easy-to-use betting kiosk 24 hours a day. The best place to touch down and catch the game is at Bet Lodge Sportsbook, located inside the lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. New games every month at the Lodge. We are constantly updating our gaming floor with the latest fun games to keep our guests entertained with new games every month. For the freshest selection of slot machines in town, make the Lodge at Deadwood your gaming destination. The locals' choice for gaming excitement with the newest games is the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort.
Top of the third, we'll see if we can get maybe our first scoreless frame by either side, as it'll be Luis De Los Santos back on the mound, facing 2-3-4 in the prospects order, starting off with Easton Swafford, who had a base hit his first trip to the box. Left-handed hitter will lead things off here in the third inning. Sasquatch in front 5-2, thanks to another couple runs in the bottom of the second inning. First pitch high to Swafford. This was supposed to be one of 2 games going on in the ILB today, as the Sodbusters and Plainsmen were supposed to be in action out in Hastings. That game was supposed to start at 5:35, but no update that I can see, which leads me to believe that possible weather conditions have delayed or maybe postponed that game. So if that's the case, then this is the only thing going on right now in the ILB. Caught on and missed by Easton Swafford. De Los Santos in his first 2 innings of work, 3 strikeouts, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, and nobody that he has walked. Make it 4 strikeouts as he gets Swafford down on strikes, first out of the inning. Saw Nathan Harb yesterday have a dominant outing, and a lot of his dominance came with balls put in play. He wasn't striking out too many people on the mound, but he was still able to deliver a great outing for the Sasquatch in his first start yesterday through 66 pitches across 5 innings. Gave up 2 runs, but neither of them earned. And only 3 strikeouts, so De Los Santos already more than Harb yesterday with 4. But Harb yesterday was in the zone for all of yesterday's game, throwing a lot of strikes, forcing his defense to work, and De Los Santos has done that to a degree as well. 45 pitches on the day, 28 of them for strikes. And he'll be treated like a starter, even though this is his first outing. He'll hopefully go 70, maybe 80 pitches. Cut on and miss there, Jackson Trout. Finds himself down in the count 1-2. Trout brought home the first run of the game. His RBI fielder's choice on a ball that was almost a double play. Was able to leg it out over at first. And he looks at strike 3, back-to-back Ks here in the top of the 3rd inning for Luis De Los Santos. That's a fastball that's just painted maybe a tad bit off the edge, but right there on the outside corner, and De Los Santos is able to lock up Jackson Trout. So here is Jacob Perrin, who went down on strikes his first time up, which is rare considering what he's done at the plate this year. A .407 batting average entering today, and an OPS above 1,000. Him and Blake Stanger really have been the 2 best bats for the majority of the season for Nebraska. Pitch high. Go back a couple nights ago when Russell Peterson was on the mound. 4 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts against the Plainsmen. He had a couple frames where he threatened to strike out the side. He did strike out the side to finish his outing. He also recorded 3 straight strikeouts to begin an inning, but a drop 3rd strike resulted in not a complete strikeout of the side. Here's a 2-2 count, and maybe we'll see if De Los Santos can finish the job here against Jacob Perrin. Got him looking his first time up with a curveball. The fastball paint got Jackson Trout looking, so a couple of options here for De Los Santos, looking to finish out 1-2-3 inning, and the first 0 by either team. 2-2. Goes with a breaking ball, but doesn't get a swing. Full count, Bodie Waller waiting on deck, looking for an opportunity maybe if this inning continues. Ground ball to short, not a strikeout, but could end the inning as Coleman throws over to first. And that'll do it, a 1-2-3 frame for Luis De Los Santos as he bounces back with a scoreless top of the 3rd. Sasquatch bats coming back up, leading 5-2.
My favorite thing about Macero's, it's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot On has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
I wanna shout out to the world so they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turns me on. And she loves me, yeah, she loves me, and it blows my mind.
Hey, nice try.
Yeah, it blows my mind. She's my lover.
A good shutdown frame for Luis De Los Santos, who's now retired 6 in a row. 1, 2, 3 in the top of the third inning, and now the Sasquatch with another opportunity to continue their offensive day at the dish. Marcial, a big cut and a miss to begin things in the bottom of the third inning. 3 runs in the bottom of the first for the Sasquatch, 2 runs in the bottom of the second inning. This pitch is up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. And this is inside and hits Marcial. You can see Pickens' reaction right away. That's not what he was trying to do. Guy who's been around the strike zone all of the day loses control there on the fastball, and so Sasquatch will get a leadoff base runner for a third inning in a row. The hit by pitch to Marcial. Getting some cloud cover here at the ballpark, and I feel like it's every day that I'm trying my best to be a meteorologist, but once again, there is a chance that we could get some weather rolling in from the west side and see if that can hopefully avoid us like it did yesterday. Yesterday there was a higher chance it was going to hit us. It did not, thankfully, resulting in a pretty quick ball game. The Sasquatch were able to win last night, and so hopefully the Sasquatch can do the same thing today. If it does hit us, then it's projected to come maybe around 40 minutes, so top of the 5th inning is the mark to reach. If the rain were to go on for a long period of time, the road team would have to bat 5 times, and so if Sasquatch are leading after that top of the 5th inning, then you never know what could happen if rain does end up coming our way. Cloud cover has cooled it off a little bit at the ballpark now as Ackerman looks at ball 3, so after Pickens was throwing nothing but strikes through 2 innings, losing a bit of the command here to begin things in the third. 3 straight balls to catcher Nolan Ackerman. Has the green light on 3-0 and fouls it off. No reason not to give him the green light with the way he's swinging the bat, and it should be no surprise, as with the Sasquatch last summer, he batted .448 in 11 games played, and he hit a home run as well last year. So combining those 2 numbers, you've got 2 home runs, and this year, batting average 8 for 15, so batting over 500. It's just maybe what he can be at the plate, as there's another base hit into left field. Took a high hop over at third base. Gage Allen, no shot, and so hit by pitch and a single for the Sasquatch in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Pair of runners on with nobody out, and Ben Tate coming up. So Tate, a base hit already in this ball game. Singled in the 2nd inning. And now we're not even yet 2 times through the order, and every Sasquatch player has reached base today. Look at what Tate's done this season, entering today, .258 batting average, 11 RBIs and 16 runs scored, but mentioned with how many guys are batting above 300, you could almost throw him in the mix, because over his last 8 games, 300 batting average with a 400 on base percentage as he hits one well to right field. It's a long run for Trout towards the line, and it goes foul, hitting the dirt along the first base line. Last 8 games have been good for Tate. Patrick Rakes was initially in the lineup today, but taken out before first pitch. So Tate was a insert and had to move from third to left. Marcial shifting over from left to right. 1-1 is skied a mile high. Shallow center field. Graf Rose coming in. The second baseman, Skyler, will make the play. So Tate's pop out will keep both runners where they are, and it's the first out of the inning. Now you've got the 9-hole hitter Micah Coleman coming up, and Coleman, like we talked about so much when he came up for the first time, I mean, it's just such a luxury to have a guy like this, whether it's him or Danny Cook, that have been batting a lot out of the 9-hole. A guy that can do this kind of thing at the plate. Already a single today. He's batting over 400. So he looks at ball one, or check that, strike one. 407 batting average with runners in scoring position as well this season. And with a hit today, he's hit safely in 14 of 16 games played. 0-1 is into right field again, a long run for Trout. This one towards the line and into foul territory. It goes off his glove. It's going to be a tough play either way, and so foul ball ends up as strike two. Got the top of the order, Seth Nelson, hoping to get an opportunity, maybe with the bases loaded or with some traffic on the base paths. Pickens is set to throw his 51st pitch of the game, and the prospects have an arm now getting ready in the bullpen. A righty is loosening. Here comes the 0-2. This is high. Inning began with a hit by pitch to Marcial and then a single to Nolan Ackerman. Sasquatch first and second. One out. It's a big hole in right center field for Micah Coleman. He can hit the ball the opposite way. Both center field and right field playing fairly shallow. He looks at one high. Graf Rowe from center and Trout from right field are not playing very deep against Micah Coleman. Wouldn't expect him to maybe have a whole bunch of pop with a 6-foot, 185 frame, but he does have a home run on the season. Certainly the ability to hit the ball deep into the outfield. Here comes the 2-2. This one's up and in, so a full count after he got 2 strikes to begin the at-bat. Coleman's now worked at full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Sasquatch in front, 5-2, bottom of the third, threatening to blow this game open. And Coleman does go to the opposite field, but Trout will be able to play it from right. Marcial not able to get back to the bag in time to tag up, and a good thing he didn't was Trout shows off the arm. Second out of the inning. 2 straight outs recorded by Pickens. 2 big outs to keep the Sasquatch at first and second. No movement after the first 2 batters reaching, and chance for Pickens to work out of this unscathed. So he'll have to go through Seth Nelson, though, first. And mention the numbers with Coleman and what he's been doing with runners in scoring position. You've got Seth Nelson, who's batting .375 with runners in scoring position this season as well. Line drive. That's a base hit into center field. Graf Rowe comes up with it, and scoring from second is Marcial. Throw comes over to third. It's not in time, and nobody's covering second. Seth Nelson will swipe second on the throw. RBI single for Nelson, scores Marcial, and the Sasquatch bring home another, extending the lead to 6-2. Some good base running for the Sasquatch. You got Ackerman taking third. Nelson alert on the base paths, reading the throw and seeing that nobody's covering the bag at second base. Able to move up, and could be a big bag with Ben Green coming up. Now a single could score you 2 runs. Like with Nelson, the infield shading Green a little bit to the pull side as you've got the shortstop Swafford playing essentially behind Nelson off his lead at second base. Pitch high to Green. Green's had himself quite the day at the dish after losing his hit streak on June 29th, a 16-game hit streak. He's continued now an 18-game on-base streak with a pair of singles today. Might have been a broken bat there on a ground ball to short. Swafford comes up with it, and the throw to first will retire Green. Sasquatch bring home a run. They've now scored at least one in every frame, and they'll lead it 6-2 as we head to the fourth.
Road trips are measured in miles of uncontrollable laughter, comfortable silence, and new memories. And for 50 years, Super 8 has been there for wherever your journey takes you. So when the open road calls for a good night's rest, you can depend on Super 8's modern rooms at over 2,000 locations. Plus, earn Wyndham Rewards points for every stay. Super 8, one of 24 trusted brands by Wyndham. See you on the road.
As we get set for the top of the fourth inning, fans come out for free jersey night, a free Sasquatch jersey to the first 500 fans with a food donation of 3 cans or more to benefit our local food pantry, courtesy of Farmers Union Insurance. That's coming up on July 8th when the Sasquatch take on Bison Baseball. First pitch at 6:05 for free jersey night. And of course, with the free jerseys, you got to come early and make sure you get your correct size. So we hope to see you all as soon as gates open. I believe they'll open at 5 o'clock. Hope to see you all at the ballpark and hope you can claim your free jersey. De Los Santos has retired the last 6 in a row. Set down the prospects 1-2-3 with a pair of strikeouts in the top of the third. Falling behind Bodie Waller 2-0. He's facing Waller, Graff, Rowe, and Kozad here in the top of the fourth inning. Good start to this point for De Los Santos, an impressive debut with the Sasquatch. Only 3 hits, and only 1 of the 2 runs are earned against De Los Santos. Just misses off the edge there. Probably the most impressive number, looking at summer ball and usually guys struggling with command. To this point, entering this inning, he had not walked anybody, and in danger of doing it here to Waller. Swinging 3-0 and fouling this pitch off. Keep you updated with what's going on with the forecast if the rain is indeed headed our way and what to expect if that is the case. Also, we're not bringing a player up here to the booth, so we have an opportunity, if you'd like, to leave any questions for myself in the chat as Waller walks here on 5 pitches. Instead of bringing a player up, I'm more than happy to answer any of the questions during the 5th inning instead of a player coming up here. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave those in the chat and we can maybe do a little bit of a Q&A with all of you, the viewers. So leadoff walk snaps the 6 in a row, and so runner aboard in the top of the 4th, Ashton Graff Rowe. Swings and hits one to right field. Marcial barely has to move and makes the catch. Well hit ball for Graff Rowe, who's hit the ball hard twice today. No result there on that swing. Ends up as the first out. Brings up Corey Kozad, the catcher. Kozad an RBI single today. He is now 11 for 37 on the season. 297 is his updated batting average. Base hit here could get him back over the 300 mark. Small lead over at first for Waller, but De Los Santos still checks in. 2 for 2 are the prospects on stolen bases today. Waller on the season, he is 1 for 2. And Ackerman has a good arm behind the plate. First pitch foul by Kozad. His RBI single brought home Graffrow in the second inning. Prospects brought home a run in the second, as well as that unearned run in the first. This is game 5 of the second half of the season for the Sasquatch, who now find themselves 7 games over 500 at 18-11. Perfect 4-0 in the second half. This one, a throw over to first, gets away from Kyle Finn and will roll all the way to the screen. Trying to go to third is Waller. Finn all the way over. It's a beautiful throw, and they got him. Kyle Finn, unbelievable throw from first base. He picks up his pitcher, De Los Santos, after the error, and they get the second out of the inning with some help from the defense. So now back out of the windup goes De Los Santos ahead of an 0-1. Missing high now, an even count. Erases the damage there, and so a chance for De Los Santos to have his first inning where he, or pardon me, his second inning in a row where he faces the minimum. This is popped foul. 1-1. Sasquatch defense hasn't been necessarily their brightest spot. They committed an error on the top of the first, Michael Coleman's error. And then De Los Santos' error there. 2 already in the game. Looped into shallow center field. Bachman going back out on it, and he makes the running catch. So it ends up being an inning where De Los Santos faces the minimum with help from Kyle Finn over at first base. The prospects go down quietly as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. The Sasquatch still lead this one 6-2.
When you venture to spearfish in the Black Hills of South Dakota, you'll find rugged hiking and biking trails, extreme rock climbs, and views that will take your breath away. Plan a spearfish vacation and come find your adventure. Spearfish, my great place in South Dakota.
It's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot On has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
Games is at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. When you're looking for the latest and greatest games, the Lodge is the place for you, as we are constantly updating our gaming floor with new and exciting games. There's always something fresh and fun at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, your home for the newest games.
New pitcher into the ball game for the prospects as the day is done for Cameron Pickens. He goes 3 innings, allowing 6 runs, all of them earned across 10 hits. No walks, but only 1 strikeout, as the book is now closed on Pickens, and a bit what we expected with a lot of strikes, but the ability for those strikes to be hit hard, and the Sasquatch do take advantage. And they'll go to the bullpen with Josh Kilzer into the game. Give you the numbers on Kilzer here after this first pitch as he comes in of relief for Pickens. The first pitch to Kyle Finn is outside. Kilzer on the summer, 12 innings pitched. He's allowed 7 runs, 4 of them earned. So a 3 ERA, 1.17 whip, and another guy who has good command of the zone for the most part with 11 strikeouts to just 3 walks to this point. Falls behind Kyle Finn with a pair of balls here to begin the bottom of the 4th inning. And now 3-0 is the count. Kilzer actually made his first appearance of the summer against the Sasquatch back on May 30th. He pitched 2 innings and gave up 4 runs, and all of those were earned. So if you take away that outing where he gave up the runs against the Sasquatch, the other 4 outings for him this year have been 10 innings pitched, 3 runs, and no earned. And a really good strikeouts to walks of 10-2. So maybe just a bit of struggles the first time on the mound. We'll see how much of that was the first time, how much of that maybe is this dangerous Sasquatch offense. Finds the zone there on 3-1. Full count now here against Kyle Finn. Got Finn, Bachman, and Darnall here, 3, 4, 5 in the order. The Sasquatch with at least a run in every offensive frame to this point. That's on the corner, strike 3. It's Kyle Finn in disagreement with both of the last 2 strike calls. He thought strike 2 was ball 4 and didn't agree with that one either. Winds up as a strikeout. Kilzer battles back from a 3-0 count. Now here comes Ryan Bachman. Bachman a strikeout his last time up. He struck out looking in the 2nd against Pickens. Also singled and scored a run in the 1st. Pitch is just off the outside corner. We're seeing both pitchers try to go to that outside corner. De Los Santos got a couple fastballs painted on the corner and got the call. And you just saw new pitcher Kilzer attack the outside corner as well. This is grounded to short. A high hop there for Swafford, and the throw gets Bachman. 2 up and 2 down for Kilzer. Comes Dylan Darnall, a 2-run double for Darnall in the 1st inning as part of the 3-run first. He also grounded out to second base in the 2nd inning. Quick 2 batters set down for Kilzer. Strike 1 in there on Darnall. One is swung on and missed. Stick around in the top of the 5th inning. Jennifer Ash of Vitalant will join us to talk. It's First Responders Night here at the ballpark, so she will come up and talk to us a little bit about what's going on coming up and what you can learn about donating blood. That's on the corner, strike 3 to Darnall. A 1-2-3 frame for Josh Kilzer, the first time the prospects have set down the Sasquatch with no damage done. A pair of strikeouts. Top of the 5th coming up, 6-2, Sasquatch in front.
So surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
I wanna shout out to the world so they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turns me on. And she loves me, yeah, she loves me, and it blows my mind.
The locals' choice for gaming excitement? It's the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. With new games arriving every month, our selection of slot machines is the freshest in town. You can always find a game with our card tables open 24 hours a day. And parking is free and easy at the Lodge, with the area's largest free parking only steps away from our front door. Enjoy spacious and comfortable gaming at the Lodge at Deadwood, the locals' choice.
Leading off the top of the fifth inning, Gage Allen, Paul Schuyler, and Drew Borner going up against Luis De Los Santos back out for a fifth inning of work. As his first pitch is inside, ball one here on Gage Allen. We've got Jennifer Ash from Vitalent joining us up here in the broadcast booth here for the top of the fifth inning, and it's first responders night here at the ballpark, and I know you're handing out these flyers here at the ballpark, so why don't you tell everybody what's going on and what fans and those who are interested can look forward to and what's coming up.
Right on. Well, we are super excited to be here at the Sasquatch game tonight. Like you said, first responders night, and coming up in Spearfish on July 23rd and 24th is our Battle of the Badges blood drive, where we are partnering with local first responders to help save lives, collect blood, and help stock the shelves this summer. It's super important that we help do so because obviously it's a 24/7 job to keep our patients safe, and so we're trying to make sure that we can accommodate those needs this summer.
Yeah, well, I was looking at a little bit, doing some research on Vitalent and the website and everything. I noticed one key thing that stood out to me is it says on the website 2 seconds. Every 2 seconds someone in the United States needs blood. Just how important is it for people to be donating blood, and how important of a need is that?
Absolutely. Well, there is no substitute for blood. And so it's our responsibility to help provide that blood to hospitals and those patients in need. And during the summer, those donations tend to dip because we know people are busy, right? People are out having a good time. They're out at the Sasquatch game, having a good time. And we just really hope that people will take about an hour of their time, come donate blood, help us stock the shelves this summer, because ultimately we're really helping our first responders. We're having this partnership, this Battle of the Badges, so that we can help save lives and help them do what they do as well. Make sure that blood is on the shelf for when they see those critical patients, but also for those folks that are having surgeries and so forth, and those ongoing needs.
Talk a little bit about the stocking the shelves as this ball is grounded to shortstop. Micah Coleman, a nice sliding play. The throw over to first is just off the bag. Kyle Finn can't keep his foot on the bag, so it'll be a base hit there for Schuyler. One out single for the prospects here in the fifth inning. To go back there, you talk about stocking the shelves and what sort of the blood is used for in the short term. Can you just talk a little bit about the process of what happens when blood is donated at these blood drives? Where does that blood go? How is that blood used?
Absolutely. Well, initially, blood is obviously donated, and then we have it tested, make sure it's safe for patients to receive. And then it is distributed out to the local hospitals for those patients. And honestly, most of the time people think it's just those critical patients that are using it, car accidents and things like that. But honestly, the most blood is used by those procedures, those surgeries and things that are planned. And we know that folks have cancer, and so people are using blood products on a regular basis. And so our job is to make sure we have a safe and ample supply.
And another thing about blood, obviously, is, there's different blood types. So for those people out there that maybe don't know what their blood type is, what's the process like of finding out what your blood type is and finding out whether you're suitable or not to give blood?
Absolutely. Well, all blood types are needed, first of all. That's really important to know.
Ground ball to shortstop here. Coleman will get not one at second base. Ball gets away. Headed over to third is Paul Schuyler after that ground ball. We'll see how they officially score that one. We'll give you an update in a moment, but finish the point.
Well, most people don't know their blood type. Right. If you have never donated blood before, this is a great way to come in, donate blood, save lives, and find out what your blood type is. You can go to vitalent.org, set up an account with us after you have become a blood donor, and we'll keep track of all your blood donations. We'll tell you what your blood type is. And the cool thing is, like I said, you're saving lives. You're going to save up to 3 lives by 1 blood donation. Wow. So everybody should just at least, I feel like, put it on their bucket list and give it a shot. Give it a shot. That was my pun.
It's a good pun. For those of the people out there that might not like needles, maybe not a good pun, but.
Exactly. exactly.
We've got also these pamphlets. I'm going to try here between pitches maybe next time we get the camera back on us to show the QR code on screen the best way we can. We got runners on the corners here with 1 out as this pitch is upstairs. So we've got 2 dates, July 23rd and 24th. I'm going to put the pair of QR codes there on screen. Hopefully maybe you can scan those if you are at home and sign up to donate blood here for both of these drives on the 23rd and 24th as this pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1. I want to go back a little bit to Vitalent. You've been there over 10 years now, is that right?
That is correct.
So, I mean, you've been there a long time. Can you just talk a little bit about the company, what you guys do, what your mission is?
Absolutely. Well, we are one of the nation's largest blood providers, and honestly, our job day in and day out is to help save lives. It's really rewarding knowing that I'm able to go and do something really selfless, like donate blood, and help somebody in need, and somebody that I'll probably never know how I'm impacting their life, but certainly it's a priceless gift that you're giving somebody, the gift of life, by donating blood.
How did you find yourself with the company in the first place and sort of in this position to do this?
Well, kind of interesting. I have a sales background, a marketing background, a mass communications degree. I mean, it kind of is a culmination of all those things, but also wanting to do something in my community. I love meeting people and, basically being able to help others. And I was never going to find myself a brain surgeon or a nurse or probably anything, or being a first responder, probably none of those things. So this is another way to kind of help give back and kind of be a caveat to helping folks like that, but not having to actually have that big responsibility.
Absolutely. The prospects threatening here in the second inning as they've now loaded the bases with just 1 out here against Luis De Los Santos. And it'll be Jackson Trout who comes up after the walk there to Easton Swafford. And so finish our conversation here. If you're just joining us, we've got Jennifer Ash from Vitalent up here in the broadcast booth here for the top of the 5th inning. I'm going to put you on the spot here, and this might be a tough question to answer, but I assume, like I mentioned, over 10 years you've probably had the opportunity to speak with a lot of patients perhaps, or people that have donated or have received blood, and what that impact has been like. Is there any one story or anything, any interaction, I know this is a tough question, or any story interaction that stands out to you that off the top of your head you can think of?
Gosh, there are, again, like you said, there are so many, and I get choked up, so I'm going to try to not get emotional.
Sorry.
But it is really one of those things that it hits me, really hits home some days. But actually, somebody recently in this community, and I was at a blood drive, and they told me about a family member who needed blood, and this person came to donate to kind of help pay it forward and pay it back. Their family member has an ongoing medical crisis and is using blood regularly, and and it's one of those things where you just, even if you hear it so many times about these stories, people needing blood and their family members, it really hits you right there, every time. And then somebody that this is actually a mother, and it was her child that needed blood. So I was like, okay, well, I'm a mom, I get that. And it really, like I said, it chokes me up, because I think any one of us could be in that situation at any given time where ourselves or a family member or even a neighbor is going to need that blood, and we need it to be there. So I feel like it's a pay it forward type of thing where come and donate blood. It doesn't matter who needs it, but somebody does. And frankly, most people that I've talked to know somebody who's needed it.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we talked about the numbers there, and in case people are just joining, we put the QR codes. I held up a little pamphlet that hopefully you can scan, and you can go back and scan that if you're just joining us. But I want to reiterate, like we started the thing with the Battle of the Badges and that blood drive. Can you just reiterate what that event is going to look like, where it is, how people can come out and support and donate blood?
For sure. All right, so we are going to be at the Spearfish Rec and Aquatic Center on July 23rd and 24th. That's a Tuesday and Wednesday this year, 6th annual. We're really excited. We hope to collect at least 150 units of blood over those 2 days. And the blood drive is from 11 to 6 each day. And you can go on to our website, vitalent.org, and look for those blood drives. Just put in your zip code, or this zip code, 57783 here in Spearfish, or you can go to vitalent.org/Spearfish Battle and find that landing page and make your appointment. But hopefully everybody puts it on their bucket list and gets that done.
A walk here to Jackson Trout will bring home a run for the Prospects. The bases loaded. Walk brings home a run, RBI for Trout. Prospects inch a little bit closer here. Now the score is 6-3, and that looks like that might do it. Justice Scott is headed out to the mound. And it looks like the first outing of the year for Luis De Los Santos will be done. Talked to you at the tent as well, right before we go to a break here, if this is the end of the game, and it will be. This is your first Spearfish Sasquatch game. How are you liking it so far?
I love it. I am like, okay, when can I go again? Am I available on Monday? What day am I coming back? I wish I was coming back tomorrow night for the fireworks. We're going to be out camping. But anyways, obviously, I don't know why this is my first game. It's like every time I know there's a game coming, I've wanted to get here, and I see the fireworks basically from my house. I'm like, oh, there's the fireworks. Why am I not there? So it's awesome. The crowd is cool. You know, it's just a great feeling being able to be here, immersed in it. There's great community pride in this organization, and it's super fun. And now I'm a super fan.
Well, there we go.
I got my picture with Samson.
Oh yeah.
The Sasquatch. So that was cool.
He's walking around on the concourse right now. Yeah, if you haven't come out to a Sasquatch game, you don't have to hear it from me. You can hear it from Jennifer to come out sometime and support the Sasquatch. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer. It's been such a pleasure to have you up here in the booth. Best of luck with everything you've got going on, and hopefully everybody out there watching, if you're in the area, you can come out to support on the couple Battle of the Badges events.
Thank you. Go Sasquatch!
Of
Woo-hoo!
course. Thanks, Jennifer. And when we come back, we'll introduce you to Jackson Peters and set the scene.
Surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
Locals' choice for gaming excitement is the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. With new games arriving every month, our selection of slot machines is the freshest in town. You can always find a game with our card tables open 24 hours a day. And parking is free and easy at the Lodge, with the area's largest free parking only steps away from our front door. Enjoy spacious and comfortable gaming at the Lodge at Deadwood, the locals' choice.
The new pitcher on for the Sasquatch is Jackson Peters, and he's coming in a big spot here with the bases loaded and 1 out. That pitch is in there for a strike. Big spot here in this ball game as Luis De Los Santos departed from his first outing with the Sasquatch, pitched really well across 4 innings, got into a bit of trouble here in the 5th. And now a bases loaded walk to Jackson Trout brought in a run, and so Peters will be called upon in a big spot. Try to work through this. Swing and a miss. 0-2, the count on Perrin. This is Peters' or I should say he's pitched 6 innings out of the bullpen this summer. 3 runs, all of them earned. 4.50 ERA and a 2 whip for Peters. Good strikeout stuff. He's got 7 strikeouts, but he has struggled from time to time finding the strike zone. He has walked 4 across 6 innings. Ahead 0-2. Fouled straight back. This is one of the best bats in the prospects order with Jacob Perrin. We've talked about the numbers for him this season. Entered today with a .407 batting average. He struck out looking in the first and then grounded out to short. So the math would think he's due for a hit at some point, and Sasquatch hoping it's not right now. That's outside. Counts a ball and 2 strikes. So De Los Santos ends up throwing 86 pitches across 4 1/3. Gave up just 3 hits, but a couple walks to finish his outing. This is outside, goes to the backstop. It comes back to Ackerman. The flip to the plate's not in time. A high throw brings home a run. Drew Borner comes around to score. Prospects inching closer here now, 6-4. And they've got another 2 runs on the base paths, threatening here against Peters. So Peters got ahead here 0-2, and now he's fallen behind. Easton Swafford is over at third base. Jackson Trout is at second. Jacob Perrin in the box. Infield remaining back for the Sasquatch. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Jacob Perrin is struck out for a second time today. The Beer batter goes down on strikes. And that's a huge second out for Jackson Peters, as that gives him an opportunity here with Bodie Waller to wiggle out of this jam and keep the Sasquatch in front. Our thanks again to Jennifer Ash from Vitalant, who joined us in the top of this 5th inning. Waller looks at strike 1. Bodie Waller struck out in the first, and then he walked in the 4th inning and was thrown out after Luis De Los Santos' pickoff error. He tried to advance all the way to third, and Kyle Finn made a great play and a great throw from first, right on the money at third, to get Waller at third base. 0-1 slapped foul. Nearly took off the head over there of Easton Swafford, and also nearly resulted in a pair of runs coming in to score for the Prospects. Peters now 1 strike away from getting out of this jam, and as it stands right now, both the runs in this half inning are unearned after the Coleman error. Here's the 0-2, just outside. So De Los Santos has a chance. If Peters can finish this off, he has a chance to go down as just 1 earned run on the day. That sails inside now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The sun peeking back through here at the ballpark. Hopefully the rain is not going to hit us, but you never know with this spearfish weather. I've grown to not trust anything I see until I literally see it with my eyes. Clouds coming in from the west don't look promising, but we've seen that before. Peters, his 1-2. This is inside that, clips the foot of Waller, and the bases are once again loaded with 2 outs now. And it'll be Ashton Graff Rowe who will have an opportunity here to break out of a slump and put the Prospects in front. He entered today with just 1 hit in 24 at-bats. He's 1 for 2 today. So on the season, he is 2 for 26. Ball 1 from Peters. We've seen this from Peters from time to time. He's got filthy stuff when he can command the zone. Gets a lot of strikeouts, but he does lose command of the zone from time to time. Nolan Ackerman is going to try to talk about the strategy here. Sasquatch took the lead in the bottom of the first inning with 3 runs. They took a 3-1 lead at that point in time, and they haven't trailed since. Prospects trying to come back with a pair of runs already in the top of the 5th inning. Jackson Peters trying to wiggle out of it. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Ashton Graff Rowe at the plate. Ball 2. Swafford at third, Trout at second, and Waller at first. No action in the Sasquatch bullpen. It all comes down to this at-bat here for Peters. He's got to find a way to get the 3rd out of the inning. 2-0. 3-0. Imagine the take sign is on here for Graff Rowe as that pitch just barely below the knees. Looked like it was a good one from Peters, but no swing and couldn't get the call. That one is again outside the zone. Another walk in, and RBI brings home another Prospects run as Swafford will jog home. They have cut the deficit to just 1, and this is important as well because if the rain does come, this is the half inning that really matters. The Sasquatch have to find a way to get through this top of the 5th inning with the lead in case the game is called. It's Corey Kozad, the 9th man to come to the plate in this half inning, and the Prospects only have 1 hit in the frame. They've brought home 3 runs, courtesy of that single, an error, 3 walks, and a hit by pitch in this frame by Sasquatch pitching. Peters has been getting ahead of a couple guys here. He got ahead of Waller, but he couldn't put him away. He hit him. Strike 1 on Corey Kozad. Catcher looks at strike 2, so again, 1 pitch away here from getting out of this jam. Jackson Peters against Corey Kozad. Kozad an RBI single in the 2nd inning. He also popped out in the 4th. Prospects have batted around, but Jackson Peters trying to make sure this is the last batter that comes to the plate. Here's his 0-2, and it's outside, now 1-2. The 1-2. That's in there. Strike 3. A big strikeout for Jackson Peters. He leaves the bases loaded and keeps the Sasquatch in front. The Prospects put up a big 3 runs to cut the deficit to just 1 in the top of the 5th inning, but Jackson Peters able to get out of the jam and keep the Sasquatch in front by a run.
So surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
Chiropractic and sports performance. We all take different paths in life. That's why we utilize multiple different treatments here at Peak. Our main treatment is our high-level chiropractic adjustment, but we also emphasize the use of cupping, scraping, vibration massage, trigger point therapy, and active care to promote movement, strength, mobility, and most of all, pain relief. Why travel to multiple locations when you can have total wellness under one roof? Stop in today and let's get you to your peak.
Bottom of the 5th for the Sasquatch, Javier Marcial, Nolan Ackerman, and Ben Tate going up against Josh Kilzer, who is very impressive in the bottom of the 4th inning. A strikeout, a groundout, and a strikeout. As Kilzer set down the Sasquatch in order, something that starting pitcher Cameron Pickens could not do across 3 frames. Kilzer needed just 11 pitches to do so in the 4th inning, and he throws strike 1 to Javier Marcial. Sasquatch trying to get a couple runs back now after Prospects brought home 3 runs at the top of the 5th inning. Final line for Luis De Los Santos in his Sasquatch debut. He ends up going 4 1/3 innings pitched. All 5 of the runs are charged against him, but only 1 of them is earned. So his ERA won't look too bad after today. 6 strikeouts to 3 walks, and those walks coming in that final inning. He lost a bit of the strike zone. He gave up 3 hits as well. Marcial, a high fly ball out to center field. Long run out there for Graf Rowe, but settle under it to make the catch. It's out number 1 here to begin the 5th. Nolan Ackerman now to bat. Looks at ball 1. Ackerman, his first time up, a ground ball to second base, and then in the 3rd inning, a single to left field. Was left stranded at 3rd base. Sasquatch have left 5 runners on base in this game. Our latest forecast projections, to the best of my knowledge, predicts an 84% chance of rain at 8 o'clock, an 82% chance of rain at 8:15, 43% chance of rain at 8:30, and it should be all the way done by 10 o'clock, but more likely 9 o'clock. But if the rain's coming, it's coming in about 10 to 15 minutes. We'll see what the plan would be if that is the case. Certainly an opportunity for these teams to make up the game anytime, because these 2 teams face each other another 2 games here on this homestand, as this pitch is fouled away by Ackerman. Last time up when Ackerman was up, talked a little bit about his numbers last season, and though he only played in 11 games last year, he batted .448, and he might just be a guy that you can expect to bat above 300, because even though the sample size is small this year, 8 for 15 entering today, there's no reason to suggest that he can't keep this going. Full count once more. Ben Tate on deck. Three-two ground ball to short. Swafford ranging over. Good play with the glove. Stretch over at first by Waller, and 2 up, 2 down for Kilzer. 5 up and 5 down out of the bullpen, and the Sasquatch are looking for their first hit since Seth Nelson's single back in the 3rd inning. So that's now 6 straight retired by Nebraska. Here is Ben Tate playing out in left field today. His more comfortable position of outfields, although we've seen him in the infields almost exclusively to this point. He hits a high chopper to second base. Good hop there for Skyler, and he'll throw to first to end the frame. Sasquatch go down quietly 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 5th. We've played 5. The Sasquatch lead at 6-5.
So surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
Prospects batted around, sent 9 to the plate in the top of the 5th inning, so for a second inning in a row, it'll be Gage Allen to lead off for Nebraska. 8-9-1 in the order. Jackson Peters back out there. First pitch ball out of the hands of Peters. Ground ball to third. It's a big hop over the glove of Dylan Darnall. See if they score that a hit or an error. The Sasquatch have committed 4 errors to this point, and that ball, not a ball that really, well, it is a ball he probably should be able to make, but also a play that can't really fault him for because of the hop. No benefit there from the turf in front of him, and waiting on an official scoring. Give it to you as soon as we get it. Paul Schuyler to bat in the meantime. Shows bunt and bunts it foul. Schuyler's 1 for 2 to this point. A single and a flyout. They will give Gage Allen a single. I think that is the right call, as it's not really a play that you can fault Darnall for. It's not a play you should be able to make. It's a tough play considering the hop. A leadoff single for Allen has put the tying run on base for Nebraska, and the 9-hole hitter in Paul Schuyler, who we've talked about, even though he hasn't played as many games as some of the other guys on this team. The numbers look good to this point. This is his 10th game played, and entering today, he was 7 for 19, so make him 8 for 21 on the season. Lead off of first for Allen. Peters. This hits him. A single and a hit by pitch, not to start the Sasquatch we're looking for in the top of the 6th inning. Still no action in the Sasquatch bullpen as of now. In a dangerous spot as Drew Borner is back up to bat. The leadoff hitter, who's had an interesting day. He's hit a couple ground balls to shortstop, and both of them Micah Coleman has made errors on. Sasquatch may be expecting a bunt here, as Kyle Finn at first is playing with his toes on the grass. The bunt is shown, and it's outside. They're going to throw back down to second base, and Ackerman a strong throw, but back in time is Gage Allen. Good idea from Ackerman. Big secondary leads by both base runners. Paul Schuyler can get a pretty big secondary lead. He's off of first, and Kyle Finn presumably would be charging on a bunt. No bunt shown here, and a pitch outside is taken for ball 1. Ball and a strike here, first and second, nobody out. Sasquatch leading at 6-5. Prospects threatening after they've scored 3 unanswered. Inside, 2 balls and a strike. Peters having his struggles with command here as he's now thrown 27 pitches, less than half of them for strikes, only 12 of them have been in the zone. 2-1. Now it's 3-1. The only strike was on that first pitch. Borner showed bunts. See if they give Borner an opportunity to swing the bat here ahead of a 3-1. Allen on second, Schuyler with some speed, he's on first. 3-1. That's a strike on the outside corner, full count. Outside corner has been there for both pitchers and both teams today. Full count. Single and a hit by pitch in the frame right now. And Peters is 3-2. Is swung on and missed. Big strikeout there on what was probably ball 4, sailing inside on Borner. But there you see that great movement from Jackson Peters, and what he can generate from his arm angle is that sinking movement in on righties. He comes up with a strikeout there on Borner, and so a big first out, keeps runners at first and second. 1 man out, and Easton Swafford, the lefty, looks at ball 1. Single, a strikeout, and a walk for Swafford. Also scored a run in the 5th. Prospects only 4 hits to this point, 5 runs, and only 1 of them was an earned run charged against Luis de los Santos. That one will catch the zone. Neither team has turned a double play yet. The Sasquatch could use one here to get out of this top of the 6th. Couple balls hit up the middle, but beat out by speed at the plate. This is popped in the air to left center field. We'll see who can get it, as coming in is the left fielder Tate. Got a good jump on it, and he'll make the catch for the second out. Two outs on the board. Peters maybe a chance to get out of this unscathed after he let the first 2 guys reach base. Jackson Trout looking for his first hit of the game. He's up with 2 away. Watches a pitch sink down low. Trout reached on an RBI fielder's choice in the first inning. That's one of those ground balls like I was talking about that could have been a double play, but with Trout's speed was not. Also struck out looking, and he brought home a run with a walk in the 5th. Misses on that swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good sinking movement, cutting movement in on the hands of righties. It's been working well for Peters as he's found that pitch over these last couple batters, just missing there off the edge. Haven't seen much breaking stuff here from Peters. He's been just going with that consistent fastball pitch. Here comes the 2-1. This is fouled away as Trout was late on it. So the Prospects, they scored 3 runs in the top of the 5th inning with a lot of help from pitchers missing the zone, walks, and hit by pitches. A hit by pitch already in this frame by Jackson Peters, but a strikeout and a flyout, giving him a chance to finish the inning off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch is chopped foul. Trout made the adjustment there on that 2-seam kind of movement in on the hands. Got around just enough to foul it off. See where Peters goes here. Does he go back to the outside corner or try something again inside? The 2-2 on the way is grounded up the middle. Coleman ranging over, goes into a slide. The throw to first is not dug out by Kyle Finn. It hits the screen, and the Prospects will tie the game as scoring is Gage Allen. And the Prospects with a run here in the top of the 6th inning. It is tied 6-6, and that's a ball that you just wish Micah Coleman maybe eats at second base or at shortstop, ranging over towards the bag at second base. It's going to be a really tough play to get him at first, and his errant throw brings home a run. Swing and a miss here on Perrin. I think that's going to go down as a single for Trout and an error on the throw that allows Allen to score. Runner goes, pitches flied into left field. This should do it. Tate coming in, he makes the catch. The Prospects get the damage done though. 1 run in the top of the 6th inning. They've tied the score 6 apiece. Sasquatch bats looking to retake the lead when we come back.
Road trips are measured in miles of uncontrollable laughter, comfortable silence, and new memories. And for 50 years, Super 8 has been there for wherever your journey takes you. So when the open road calls for a good night's rest, you can depend on Super 8's modern rooms at over 2,000 locations. Plus, earn Wyndham Rewards points for every stay. Super 8, one of 24 trusted brands by Wyndham. See you on the road.
So they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turns me on. She loves me, yeah, she loves me, and it blows my mind. Hey, nice try. Yeah, it blows my mind. She's my lover.
It's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot On has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
Sasquatch trying to figure out Josh Kilzer on the mound now, finding themselves in a tie ball game. As Micah Coleman will look at ball 1. A couple things for the Sasquatch, numbers-wise, if you want to look out for that in this ball game. In games where the Sasquatch have allowed 7 or fewer runs, Sasquatch are 13-2, so that's a mark for the pitching staff and the defense to try to watch out for. Additionally, in games where the Sasquatch have scored 10 or more runs, they are 9-2. So the offense has their work cut out for them now in a tie ball game. The pitching staff will try to keep it where it's at right now. Josh Kilzer has been keeping it where it's at. As the Sasquatch are yet to get a runner on base against him. 6 up and 6 down since coming on in relief of Pickens. He's ahead of Coleman 1-2. This pitch is high. You know you'd love, or you know Coleman would love, to make up for the error in the top half of the frame, and I believe 4 errors committed in this game by Micah Coleman. 2-2 ground ball to short, ranging over towards the bag is Swafford. He won't get there. It goes up the middle, a base hit. The Sasquatch finally scratch across the runner against Josh Kilzer. It's a leadoff single for Micah Coleman. Doing his job out of the 9-hole, now turns the lineup back to the top, and Seth Nelson. Nelson's been on base each of his first 3 at-bats. This is his 4th time coming to the plate. A double, reaching on a fielder's choice, and an RBI single for Nelson. He's scored 2 runs, and he's drove in 1. Coleman takes an extra step at first. Nelson watches the first pitch go just off the corner. Coleman's 3 of 3 on stolen base attempts this year. Two and 0 here on Nelson. This top of the order, dangerous bats to look out for. Nelson, Green, Finn in the hole. And you've got Bachman waiting beyond that. If the Sasquatch can keep this inning going and bring those big bats to the plate. This is in the dirt. Coleman will stay at first. And 3-0 is the count now. Nelson, with the way he's swinging the bat, might want to give him a green light. If Kilzer lays a fastball in there, then Nelson could certainly do damage. He does swing, and he fouls it straight back. Nelson on the season entering today, a .370 batting average. A couple hits already has probably gotten him back close to batting .400, which is where he's been sitting ever since he rejoined the team. 3-1 is up and away. A walk to Nelson, first and second, with nobody out. Prospects will gather on the mound for a mound visit as Ben Green is set to come up. Head coach Justice Scott gives a head nod of encouragement to Green ahead of the at-bat. Guy you want up at the dish in Ben Green. He's had himself a sparkling summer. We've talked with him on the broadcast a couple times. He was up here yesterday, and really a guy that can do everything for the Sasquatch. He's been hitting for average, entered today .384, hitting for power, 3 home runs, stealing bases, 6 of 8, and playing good defense in center field. So your 4 or 5 tool player, Ben Green, has been doing all that. Continuing it today with a couple RBI singles, 2 RBIs on the day, and a 2-for-3 day at the dish. Coming up in a big at-bat here against Josh Kilzer, who's been dominant through 2 innings, but getting into some trouble here in the 6th. Sky clearing up a little bit. Sun shining through. First baseman Waller creeping in. Green hits one in the air to left field. Perrin will drift over towards the line and make the catch. First out for Kilzer here in the bottom of the 6th inning is a big one. Now it'll bring up Kyle Finn. I mean, this lineup doesn't let up on you. Just because you got one guy who was batting .384 doesn't mean you don't have to face Kyle Finn, who entered today batting .329 and .405 with runners in scoring position. Hoping to pick up Coleman at second. Fouls this pitch off. Hit a grand slam in that 26-6 ball game. After an hour-long rain delay, he came up and on the first pitch hit a grand slam. Seth Nelson, Ben Green, and I think everybody here agreed that that was something we'd never seen before, something you probably won't see ever again, and one of the highlights of that 26-run performance. 0-1, good movement on that pitch. Comes back into the zone, and now 0-2. Finn's been a little bit quiet today. Pop out a strikeout to go along with an RBI single. Looking for his second hit of the game here in an 0-2 hole. Watches a fastball go upstairs. 6'7" and a lot of power, but he doesn't always look like he's showing like he has a lot of power. When he swings the bat, it just looks so effortless. But yet the ball just jumps off his bat, goes 400 feet, and you wouldn't be able to tell by the way he swings. 2 home runs on the season and 12 extra base hits to go along with 26 RBIs. Pops one up on the infield, right side. Waller, right over there near the bag, makes the catch. 2 outs in the inning. So it'll come down to Ryan Bachman in this bottom of the 6th inning to try to make those 2 leadoff runners come back to haunt the prospects. Coleman led off the inning with a single. Nelson drew a walk. And then now back-to-back outs for Josh Kilzer. And it'll be Ryan Bachman, Mr. Sasquatch, the hometown guy, has continued to rake at the plate no matter what it is. He's come up in big spots and capitalized in those opportunities. He looks at strike 1. Today dropped down to the 4-hole in the order, out of the leadoff spot where we've seen him for a majority of the year. In the month of June, he batted .400, the 1.054 OPS. He was 28 for 70 in the month of June. Trying to continue that here in July as Coleman is off the bag, and they're going to pick off over to third. Coleman racing back to second base. He's going to get there in time. That is a lucky break for the Sasquatch, as Josh Kilzer's throw to Gage Allen at third base had to be dug out, which allowed Coleman to scamper back to the bag. It's already been a bad day in the field for Micah Coleman. Almost went worse there with a base running mistake. So the count stays at 0-1. The pitch to Bachman. It's on the outside corner, 0-2. Ryan Bachman now in an 0-2 hole. Nelson still at first and Coleman at second. Trying to give the Sasquatch a lead after the prospects have brought home 4 unanswered to tie this ball game up. Kilzer looking back at Coleman, now delivers. Bachman into right field, slicing towards the line. Going after it is Trout, and that ball is foul. Just barely foul along the right side. Could have brought home a pair of runs. As you saw on our broadcast there, Luis De Los Santos' reaction from the dugout, and everybody's here as well, as that ball was just slicing away and away from Trout, but couldn't find fair territory along the right side. So the count stays here 0-2. Coleman definitely has speed at second base. A base hit into the outfield could certainly bring home the speedy Coleman. Kills are shaking off a couple pitches here. Bachman not calling time. Now he will. So he was content to watch Kilzer cycle through the signs. That one just misses. Man, Corey Kozat thought that was strike 3, and with the way the outside corner has been called today, that pitch could have very well rung up Ryan Bachman. It did not. Gives Bachman another chance on a 1-2 count now as he watched that fastball just off the edge. Kilzer's 1-2. Line drive, that's over top the glove of Allen into left field. They're going to wave home Coleman. Here comes a throw to Perrin. It's offline. Coleman scores. Ryan Bachman comes through. He'll take second base as well on the errant throw, and the Sasquatch are back in front. It's 7-6. A big swing from Ryan Bachman as the Sasquatch almost came out of the inning with nothing. Instead, they'll come out of it with the lead back in their favor. Micah Coleman comes in to score. Jacob Perrin's throw was offline. He advances to second base as well on the throw. And now it'll be up to Dylan Darnall to try to keep this going and turn this into a crooked number. The Sasquatch on top, 7-6 is the score, thanks to Ryan Bachman's RBI single. Dylan Darnall, ball 1. Darnall, a 2-run double his first time up. That was in the first inning. Since then, a ground out and a strikeout for one of the Sasquatch's hottest bats over the month of June. Currently riding now a 12-game hitting streak, which he extended on that double. And he's batting over .400 in that 12-game span. the month of June, he batted .405. Raised his batting average entering today to .362. One of the guys that just had himself an amazing month at the dish. Getting the start at third base today and up in a big spot here in the bottom of the sixth. Sasquatch back in front, 7-6. 2 balls and a strike, the count. Darnall fouls it away. Josh Kilzer set down the Sasquatch in order in the 4th and the 5th. He went 6 up, 6 down. But in the 6th inning, the Sasquatch getting better swings, working longer at bats, and scratching across a run to retake the lead. Here comes the 2-2. This is chopped foul. 6 runs on 5 hits and no errors for the Prospects. 7 runs on 12 hits and 5 errors for Spearfish. Nelson on third, Bachman on second. Dylan Darnall going up against Josh Kilzer. The quiet Prospects bullpen, the 2-2 pitch. His line into left field, there's a base hit. Nelson scores. Bachman is held up at third base. An RBI single for Dylan Darnall brings home another run. 8-6, Sasquatch now in front. Back-to-back singles to the left side for the Sasquatch. First, Bachman's over top the glove of Allen at third, and then this one well over top the infield and into left field to give the Sasquatch an extra insurance run in the frame. They do put up a crooked number after surrendering the lead in the top of the 6th inning. They take it right back, and now it's Marcial with an opportunity. First pitch, an excuse-me swing along the third base line. This is going to be a tough play. Allen can't come up with it. And Marcial, we'll see if it's a hit or an error. Either way, it's a run into the bank for the Sasquatch and a 9-6 ball game. Marcial wasn't trying to swing at that pitch. It just went off the bat on a check swing. The Sasquatch now with 3 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Oh, Nolan Ackerman will get a chance. Sasquatch bringing up their 8th man to the plate in this half inning. Ben Tate on deck, the only guy who has not come up in the half inning. It's going to be an error at third base on that last play by Gage Allen. So Javier Marcial will not get the RBI. It doesn't matter all that much, as the Sasquatch, what matters most is they bring home that run. Ackerman watches ball 2. Ackerman right into the glove of Allen at third. He got around on the fastball, but he lined it right into the glove of Allen, and Ryan Bachman's RBI single retook the Sasquatch lead. Dylan Darnall tacks on another, and an error at third base brings home 3 in the frame for the Sasquatch. We've played 6 here at Black Hills Energy Stadium, and it's the Sasquatch who are back in front, 9-6.
My favorite thing about Macero's, it's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot on. It has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
Road trips are measured in miles of uncontrollable laughter, comfortable silence, and new memories. And for 50 years, Super 8 has been there for wherever your journey takes you. So when the open road calls for a good night's rest, you can depend on Super 8's modern rooms at over 2,000 locations. Plus, earn Wyndham Rewards points for every stay. Super 8, one of 24 trusted brands by Wyndham. See you on the road.
Surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
Day is done for Jackson Peters as he ends up going an inning and 2/3. Allows 1 run, but none earned. 2 hits allowed, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. It'll be Aiden Torpy who comes in to replace Peters. Take a look at what Torpy has done so far this season after this pitch. Ground ball along the first base line. Finn will flip over to Torpy, who covers the bag and puts away Bodie Waller. That's the first out of the inning. Torpy's been one of the Sasquatch's best arms thus far. 14 2/3 innings pitched, a 3-1 record. He's also racked up 2 saves. Allowed 7 total runs, but only 4 of them earned. So there you see the 2.45 ERA and a 1.02 whip as he has 21 strikeouts to just 3 walks this year. Ball 1 to Ashton Graff Rowe. Gave up 2 runs his last time out against the Plainsmen on June 28th. So that was his first bit of trouble, really, he's faced all year. Ended up getting the win in that game as the Sasquatch mounted a rally in the bottom of the 9th inning against the Plainsmen back on June 28th. They scored 5 runs without recording an out and won that ball game. So despite the 2 runs by Torpy in the top of the 9th inning, he got the win. And over his last 8 1/3 innings pitched, Torpy's 2-0 with 2 saves in 2 opportunities. Only 2 earned runs given up and 16 strikeouts to 1 walk. Blooped left field, that's a base hit off the bat of Graff Rowe. 1 out single gives the prospect some life here against Torpy. Looking into how far Torpy could go into this game. Most pitches he's thrown this year is 44. He's hit that mark twice. 11 batters faced. And that was all the way back on May 30th when he faced the prospects and gave up 1 run on 4 hits in that game. This is his second time now facing the prospects, and could see if head coach Justice Scott wants Torpy out there into the 9th inning if he can pitch well. Certainly has the ability to go through the 7th and the 8th. See where the pitch count sits, and maybe an opportunity for 3 innings and a 9-out save for Torpy if the Sasquatch can hold on. Runner goes. The pitch is outside, and the throw down to second is late. Prospects again active on the base paths as we anticipated coming into this game. Ashton Graff Rowe moves up 90 feet as he swipes seconds. Counts a ball and a strike on Corey Kozad, who had an RBI single in the 2nd inning. He popped out in the 4th and struck out looking in the 5th. That strikeout looking was with the bases loaded in that 5th inning. A big turning point in the ball game when the prospects brought home 3 runs. They only needed 1 hit to do so, and they ended up leaving the bases loaded in that frame. The Sasquatch then immediately answered back with 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. That's on the inside corner, and Torpy retires Kozad on strikes as he is down looking now for a 2nd time today. That's the 2nd out. I remember when we had Nolan Ackerman up here in the booth, I asked him what it's like catching these guys that you're meeting for the first time and getting to know their pitch mix for the first time, and he said that Aiden Torpy so hard to catch because he even had trouble seeing the ball out of his hands, let alone what it would be like for a hitter seeing the ball out of the hands of Torpy. But with his funky arm slot and his pitch mix, even Aiden Torpy has had his struggles. Or, sorry, even Nolan Ackerman has had his troubles seeing Aiden Torpy. Count is 0-2 on Gage Allen, who has struck out twice today and singled and came around to score in the 6th inning. Torpy trying to punch out second in the inning. 0-2. Way outside. Looking ahead to the future for the Sasquatch, they finish off this series with 2 more games against the Prospects on the 2nd and the 3rd. 1-2, that's outside, and after that they get the 4th of July off before they head to Hastings for a 3-game set, the 5th, 6th, and 7th. And then they're back at home for an extended home series where they'll take on the Bison, or I should say Bison Baseball. They take them on for 5 games in the span of, I believe, 7 days. Got a couple days off in the middle of it. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Aiden Torpy trying to pitch a scoreless 7th inning. Prospects have scored in each of the last 2 frames, 3 in the 5th and 1 in the 6th. Sasquatch finding themselves back out in front 9-6 thanks to 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Wave and a miss. Allen is down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Aiden Torpy to finish off the inning. No runs, a hit, and 1 left on base for the Prospects. As we go to the stretch here at the ballpark, the Sasquatch find themselves in front 9-6.
Is at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. When you're looking for the latest and greatest games, the Lodge is the place for you, as we are constantly updating our gaming floor with new and exciting games. There's always something fresh and fun at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, your home for the newest games.
It's the staff. The culture is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Spot On has greatly reduced the time our managers spend on scheduling. The biggest advantage is its tip management. At a touch of a button, it instantly allocates tip pooling and tip splitting.
Our employees love it that as soon as we've done the tip distribution, they can see what they made yesterday. It's real straightforward. What you see is what you get, and that's what you want working in a restaurant. And with Spot On, you've got everything there at the tip of your fingers.
The day is done for Josh Kilzer as he pitches 2 really strong innings and then a 3rd where he struggles. His final line, he goes 3 innings pitched, allows 3 runs, only 2 of them earned. 3 hits, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. There's 54 pitches across 3 frames, and now Prospects back to the bullpen with number 20, Trenton Berry, who will take the mound. Berry's been seeing a lot of time as a hitter this season. He's had 29 at-bats as a hitter, but this is now will be his 2nd outing as a pitcher. He pitched on June 1st, 1 inning, scoreless frame where he struck out 1 and walked 1. And now he will work through the bottom part of the Sasquatch order. 8-9-1 with Ben Tate, Micah Coleman, and then Seth Nelson at the top of the order. trying to lock this 7th inning down and give the prospects a chance to come back, and it'll be a tough task if Aiden Torpy remains on the hill. The Sasquatch are trying to win a 7th game in a row and improve to 19-11 with a win today, and stay undefeated in the second half of the season. Would be a perfect 5-0 with a win today. Sole possession of second place currently in the ILB. The Sasquatch entered today a half game ahead of the Sodbusters. Tate loops one into right fields, right at Trout, who makes the catch. Of course, the goal for the Sasquatch is to make that ILB Championship Series. The Casper Spuds will be awaiting the second half winner, and if it's the Spuds who end up winning the second half, it'll be the team that finishes with the second best record overall in the league, which right now is the Sasquatch. Here's Coleman looking at strike one. Coleman has had certainly his tough days at the shortstop spot with a couple errors today, 4 errors in the field, but made up for it a little bit in that 6th inning with a leadoff single and came around to score the go-ahead run. What could be the winning run and the most meaningful run the Sasquatch bring home today as he hits one in the air to center field. Ranging back on it is Graff Rowe, and it goes over his head. So he lost control of the ball, and Coleman is going to slide into or stand up into second base. See how they score that one. I don't know if that ever went off the glove of Graff Rowe. Maybe he just missed it completely. Should be an error. That's a ball that Graff Rowe needs to be able to come up with in center field. So it will be an error, and Coleman reaches to give the Sasquatch some life here in the bottom of the 7th inning. In scoring position with 1 out and Nelson at the dish. As Nelson looks at strike one. Nelson's been on base all 4 times today, a double, a fielder's choice, an RBI single, and a walk. He's also scored 3 runs today and has not driven any in. Entered today with 17 runs batted in on the season, and with 3 runs scored now, he has scored 19 runs in 17 games played. Nelson, ground ball to short. See if they can get Coleman hung up. They do. And a rundown is a smart play by Swaffer. Now we'll see if Nelson can advance. He's not going to try. They throw down to third, and they get Micah Coleman. So Coleman out at third base. Nelson at first, as he will end up reaching on a fielder's choice. Coleman tried to advance with a ball hit in front of him. Winds up as the second out of the inning. Last hope for the Sasquatch now in the bottom of the 7th inning will be Ben Green. Pair of RBI singles to go along with a ground out and a fly out. 2 for 4 day for Green. Looks at ball 1. Sasquatch still out hitting the prospects 13-6 to this point. 7 combined errors between these two teams, 5 for the Sasquatch and 2 for the prospects. As Green shows bunt, bunts it to the third base line, and it's going to be tough to field there by Barry, and it's going to be an infield single, possibly, maybe an error. It's going to be a bunt single there for Ben Green, as with his speed going down the line, I mean, that's a tough play to make if you're Barry on the mound, even if he comes up cleanly and makes that throw. Would be a tough play, so not a play that you expect him to make. Play you would love him to make, but not a routine play by any stretch. So now instead of 7 combined errors, make it, or check that, no. The hit keeps it at 7 combined errors. 1-0, a high chopper to third. It's fielded by Allen. They'll throw to second to get Green. and finish off the Sasquatch in the 7th inning. The Sasquatch with a couple runners on base, but they can't do any damage. We've played 7. Score remains 9-6.
So surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
Chiropractic and sports performance. We all take different paths in life. That's why we utilize multiple different treatments here at Peak. Our main treatment is our high-level chiropractic adjustment, but we also emphasize the use of cupping, scraping, vibration massage, trigger point therapy, and active care to promote movement, strength, mobility, and most of all, pain relief. Why travel to multiple locations when you can have total wellness under one roof? Stop in today and let's get you to your peak.
Spot on teamwork saves me so much time. I haven't spent a single minute in my back office this week. Teamwork simplifies employee communications, scheduling, tip outs, and payroll. It even syncs with my POS, so I know my data is accurate. All right, tips are out. In fact, teamwork has saved me so much time, I was able to take today off to film this.
Cut! Now remember, you really hate that back office.
9-1-2 for the Prospects. Paul Schuyler to lead off. Looks at ball 1. It's Schuyler, Borner, and Swafford against Aiden Torpy here in the 8th. Sasquatch will look for multiple innings out of Torpy. He was able to shut down the Prospects in the 7th with only the 1 single allowed. Broken bat, ground ball, third base side. Darnall fields strong throw to first, gets Schuyler 1 away. Seen a couple broken bats already today by both of these two teams. Good pitching and a lot of pitchers that are pitching on that inside part of the plate. You had Jackson Peters with that great two-seam movement on his pitches coming in on the hands of righties, and Aiden Torpy can do the same thing, but he also features a nasty wipeout off-speed pitch that helps him out so much. This pitch again on the inner part of the plate. It's strike 1 on Drew Borner. Borner's reached on a couple errors, also flown out and struck out, so he's 0 for 4, but he has scored 2 runs. And there you see that nasty slider from Aiden Torpy. As a righty, that's got to be so tough to pick up. That ball looks like it starts at your hip, and then all of a sudden it's tailing back towards the plate, and it's in there for a strike. 0-2. On the outside corner, man, Aiden Torpy sets down Borner looking on 3 pitches, and that's the second out. Aiden Torpy continuing to impress. We gave you the numbers when he came into the ball game about his strikeout to walk ratio. 21 strikeouts to 3 walks. He's now got 24 strikeouts to 3 walks, thanks to 3 so far in an inning and 2/3. He's only needed 22 pitches to do it. Gets a first pitch foul ball to the shortstop Easton Swafford. Could certainly see Torpy out there for a 9th. We mentioned most pitches he's thrown was 44, and he had reached that mark twice. On pace to be well below that mark to finish off this frame. Count is 1-1 on Swafford. Waves and misses there. Single, strikeout, walk, and a flyout for Swafford. 1 for 3 day. Scored a run in the 5th inning. Fouled away. Looking ahead to the Sasquatch bottom of the 8th inning, they're going to have Bachman, Darnall, and Marcial trying to extend the lead. Hoping Aiden Torpy can keep it where it's at. His 1-2 pitch is grounded weakly to Bachman. And that will do it. 3 up, 3 down in the 8th for Aiden Torpy. An efficient top of the 8th inning, and the Sasquatch bats will come back up. Ryan Bachman to lead off.
When you venture to Spearfish in the Black Hills of South Dakota, you'll find rugged hiking and biking trails, extreme rock climbs, and views that will take your breath away. Plan a Spearfish vacation and come find your adventure. Spearfish, my great place in South Dakota.
Your sports wagering experience to the next level at BetLodge Sportsbook, the premier sports betting venue in South Dakota. Surrounded by luxury seating, our massive 42-foot seamless video wall is the largest in the area, displaying all of your favorite NFL and college football. Place your bets with our sports desk personnel or visit our easy-to-use betting kiosk 24 hours a day. The best place to touch down and catch the game is at BetLodge Sportsbook, located inside the lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. Is at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. When you're looking for the latest and greatest games, the Lodge is the place for you, as we are constantly updating our gaming floor with new and exciting games. There's always something fresh and fun at the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort, your home for the newest games.
Bachman batting in the cleanup spot, but he'll get a chance to lead off here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Looking at ball 1 out of the hands of Trenton Berry. Only 3 pitchers used by either side to this point. Prospects have combined Cameron Pickens, who started at going 3 innings, gave up 6 runs, all of them earned, and then Josh Kilzer pitched 3, gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned. On the Sasquatch side of things, Luis De Los Santos was very impressive at 4 1/3. He gave up 5 runs, but only 1 of them was earned. Jackson Peters was able to come into a jam and wiggle out of it as Bachman sends one foul. Peters came up with some clutch pitching. 1 run allowed by Peters and no earned runs for him. And then Aiden Torpy will be back out there for the 9th inning to try to shut this one down. Bachman, Darnall, Marcial. 3-1 on Bachman. Another couple hits on the day for Ryan Bachman. His last an RBI single in the 6th inning that broke the scoreless tie. Came up with 2 outs and a couple runners on and brought home a run. And this one will bring home potentially another run. Yes, it will. This ball is way out of sight. Ryan Bachman, an insurance home run here in the 8th inning. He leaves the yard for a 3rd time this season, and the Sasquatch are on top 10-6. Have yourself a day. Ryan Bachman, his 3rd hit of the ball game. It's not an 8th inning grand slam, but it is a home run, and so the Sasquatch extend the lead back up to 4 now with Aiden Torpy, their best arm, hoping to lock this one down. The Sasquatch look like they will be able to improve to an undefeated 5-0 here in the 2nd half. And 19 for 11 on the season as there's a base hit into right field. Dylan Darnall's 3rd hit of the ball game. Sasquatch looking to put up a big spot here in the 8th inning and make this one a comfortable 9th inning for Torpy. Home run and a single for first Bachman and then Darnall. Bachman now with 3 home runs on the season. And after a amazing month of June. Just because it's July doesn't mean the bat is any different. There's a base hit for Javier Marcial. Everybody getting involved here against Trenton Berry in the 8th inning. As now it's Nolan Ackerman who comes up. The Sasquatch have had a couple opportunities to do the unbelievable here at the ballpark, which is if the Sasquatch hit a grand slam in the bottom of the 8th inning, a fan gets $10,000. Braden Gostisha had a chance a couple nights ago, and then last night, the Sasquatch had 2 chances with the bases loaded. I believe it was Marcial and Nelson who both came up, and neither one could do it. Sasquatch might have an opportunity to load the bases and get another chance at an amazing moment. What matters right now, though, of course, is the 10-6 lead the Sasquatch have. This is in the dirt and nearly bounces over top the screen, but will be plenty to advance both base runners on the wild pitch. First and second, or pardon me, second and third now with nobody out. Ryan Bachman's home run in the top, or in the bottom of this 8th inning, extending the Sasquatch lead. Now 10 runs and 17 hits as Ackerman fouls this pitch off. Sasquatch offense as a whole continuing to do their thing. They've now scored 10 or more runs in 9 of their past 14 games. And in games where they do that, they are 9-2 on the season, as this one is looped over the head of Waller and into right field. Darnall scores. Throw comes into the infield. Marcial is held at third. RBI single for Nolan Ackerman. It's all coming through for the Sasquatch here in the 8th. Comes Ben Tate. 1 for 4 day for Tate. The Sasquatch now have 18 hits today. Ground ball to third, maybe a chance to turn 2. They'll get 1 at second. The throw to first is in time. It's a double play. The run does score. Javier Marcial comes in to score. It won't be an RBI for Ben Tate. That's the 5-4-3 double play. Takes everybody off the base paths, but gives the Sasquatch another run, and they've now doubled up the prospects. It is 12-6. Coleman looks at a first pitch high for ball 1. Coleman's reached base 3 times today, 2 of them with hits, 1 of them on an error. He's also had his fair share of opportunities in the field, has committed a couple errors himself over at shortstop. Spot the Sasquatch have struggled with defensively over this stretch at the plate. There's another base hit, though, for Coleman, so that'll make him feel better as he's got his 3rd hit of the ball game. Another single, 2-out base knock, and the Sasquatch with an opportunity to get into a 20 spot in the hit column here with Nelson coming up. And Nelson as well, a chance to reach base in 6 of 6 trips, as he's already reached base in 5 of 5 times. A couple fielder's choices, a double, a single, and a walk. 1 RBI, 3 runs scored. Big day at the plate for Nelson as he hits one in the air to left field, and this will drift foul. Everybody in the Sasquatch lineup with a hit today. Green, Bachman, Darnall, and Coleman now all with 3 hits. You got Nelson and Ackerman both with 2. Spread the wealth up and down the lineup. In fact, everybody but 3, all but 3 have recorded RBIs today. Looking ahead to the 9th inning for the prospects, and their last hope, they'll have Jackson Trout, Jacob Perrin, and Bodie Waller. 3, 4, 5 in the order, the guys you want up, trying to mount a rally. Nelson fouls it away, 1-2. Ground ball is short. Couple hops for Swafford. The throw to first, and Seth Nelson hustling down the line. Beats out a routine ground ball. That ball wasn't hit hard, but that's a routine ground ball, and Seth Nelson was hustling down the line. You love to see that. It's going to be an infield base hit for Nelson. Make it 6 of 6 times that Nelson reaches base. Another base hit for the Sasquatch, give him 20 on the day. And give Nelson his 3rd hit of the ball game. Comes Ben Green. He's had himself a nice day. 3 for 5, 2 RBIs, a run scored. Looks at ball 1. Got Kyle Finn, a power threat on deck, who's been relatively quiet, only 1 for 5. And already a grand slam on the season. I'm not trying to say anything, but I might be saying something. If Ben Green can reach base and load him up, we'd have another chance. Counts 2-0 on Green. Back pick over at first. Nelson is safe. Pitch was outside as well as they try to catch Nelson sleeping over at first. They don't. 3 balls and no strikes with 1st and 2nd and 2 away in the 8th inning. Sasquatch have scored 6 unanswered runs. Game was tied 6-6 in the bottom of the 6th before Sasquatch put up 3 to take the lead, and we will get another shot. Here we go. The bases are loaded in the bottom of the 8th inning, and like I said, if the Sasquatch hit a grand slam, $10,000 for a lucky fan. And Kyle Finn's already done it once. Can he do it again here in the 8th inning? We'll have a mound visit here with the infields. I don't think it'll be the same kind of mound visit we saw yesterday from the Plainsmen, where you could argue they were almost hoping that it happened, as Dean Rizzo on the mound was almost lobbing him in there and hoping the Sasquatch would do it. And again, the Sasquatch were well out in front at that point. 6 runs in the lead right now, 12-6 the score. Micah Coleman's at 3rd, Seth Nelson at 2nd, and Ben Green at 1st. Kyle Finn, the 9th man to come to the plate in the bottom of the 8th inning against Trenton Berry. First pitch fastball, and Finn swings through it. Got a pitch to hit there. Belt high fastball and came up empty. 0-1. Ground ball to second. Skyler will take it to the bag himself, and that does it for the bottom of the 8th inning. So the elusive grand slam will stay elusive for the Sasquatch. 3 more runs in. Ryan Bachman's home run, and then a couple more runs after that. Sasquatch 3 outs away from a 7th win in a row.
So surprising. So untamed. So much historical fame. So much to see, hear, smell, taste, enjoy. So pack your bags. Hit the road. Strike gold. Deadwood is waiting. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
Locals' choice for gaming excitement? It's the Lodge at Deadwood Gaming Resort. With new games arriving every month, our selection of slot machines is the freshest in town. You can always find a game with our card tables open 24 hours a day. And parking is free and easy at the Lodge, with the area's largest free parking only steps away from our front door. Enjoy spacious and comfortable gaming at the Lodge at Deadwood, the locals' choice.
Last hope for the prospects in the top of the 9th inning. They'll have 3, 4, 5 in the order. Jackson Trout, Jacob Perrin, and Bodie Waller going up against Aiden Torpy. Trying to close this one down and come away with a save. Would be a 9-out save. Entered the game in the 7th inning and has been dominant like usual out of the pen as he pumps in strike 1. Only 1 batter reaching base against Torpy. It was Ashton Graff Rose single. in the 7th inning. Struck out 3 to this point and trying to lock this one down. Jackson Peters would be in line for the win. No decision for Luis de los Santos, and I believe Josh Kilzer would get the loss. This is chopped foul. Trout so far today, RBI fielder's choice in the 1st inning, struck out in the 3rd, walked in the 5th, and then singled in the 6th inning. Pair of RBIs and a 1-for-3 day for Trout. And he goes down swinging as Torpy fans Jacob Trout for the first out. Stick around as well when this game is over for the GP Local post-game show. That's coming up after this game is over. We hope to have a player join us up here in the booth. Maybe it'll be the player of the game. Maybe it'll be Aiden Torpy finishing this one out. Several good options in a good Sasquatch ball game, who we hope to hear from on the post-game show, as there is an ugly-looking swing from Jacob Perrin, and that's what Aiden Torpy gets a lot of on the mound. That slider with so much run away from a righty. And then he pumps in a fastball on the corner. Man, Torpy, he's just fun to watch out there when he is dealing. Always a pleasure to watch him pitch. Already a strikeout in the frame. Comes the 0-2. And another one. Jacob Perrin, no chance at the plate. Goes down on strikes. 3 pitches. That's back-to-back strikeouts here in the 9th inning, and a chance to strike out the side as the prospects are down to their final out. It's Bodie Waller, the last chance. Waller, the left-handed batter. Looks at ball 1. Waller's been on base a couple times today. Reached on a walk and a hit by pitch. Overall, he's 0 for 2. Ground ball. This will get up the middle. This will keep the game alive for the prospects as a single up the middle. And it'll be Ashton Graff Rowe now, who becomes the last hope for Nebraska. These two teams are going to be back in action tomorrow night. It's also fireworks night at the ballpark in a game that is probably close to, if not all the way, sold out in terms of reserved seating. So if you are planning on coming out to the ballpark for fireworks night tomorrow night, make sure you get your tickets as soon as possible. If you come at the gate, you'll likely have general admission tickets, but we hope to see you all at the ballpark tomorrow night, 6:05 first pitch once again. Should be a beautiful afternoon at the ballpark, and we'll finish it off with some fireworks. This is inside 2-0. Strike there from Torpy. 2 balls and a strike. Torpy looking to finish off 3 innings and a Sasquatch win here on Monday night. There's another strike, and the prospects are down to their final strike. The month of June was kind to the Sasquatch as they went 15-6 in the month of June. Trying to kick off July the same way with a win. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Torpy just missing low, full count. That'll set Bodie Waller off on the pitch. It's the slider just below the knees. Will force Torpy to make another pitch. Full count with 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled away. We'll do it again. Crowd on hand, cheering on the Sasquatch to a victory. Clapping before first pitch. First responders night at the ballpark. See if Torpy can give him the win right here on a full count pitch with 2 away. Ground ball, third base side, and it's past Darnall into left field. Stopping at third is Waller. Going to second, standing up is Graff Rowe with a double. Now runners on second and third here, still 2 outs. Prospects keeping the game alive as Corey Kozad will get a chance. 1 for 4 day for the catcher. A couple strikeouts as well to go along with a pop out. His RBI single in the second inning. First pitch popped up third base side. This could do it. Darnall in foul territory towards the dugout, makes the catch, and that is the ball game. Sasquatch win it. 12-6 is the final. Hayden Torpy the save over 3 shutout frames to finish this one off. The Sasquatch with a couple big frames down the stretch, scoring 3 in the bottom of the 6th and 3 in the bottom of the 8th. Come away with the win. It's their 7th in a row. They improved to 19-11 on the season, while the Prospects fall to 5-13. These two teams back in action tomorrow night, 6:05, fireworks night. And you can catch our coverage, of course, right here on YouTube. 6:05 first pitch means our coverage begins at 5:40 to 5:45. So stay tuned here on YouTube for that tomorrow night. And, of course, stick around for the GP Local post-game show where you'll hear me talk with a player and recap today's action. All that is coming up on the GQ Local post-game show. Final score, 12-6. Sasquatch win it.
Be fucking real, man. Come on. Here on the GP Local postgame show, I'm joined alongside Aiden Torpy, who finished this one out, going 3 innings down the stretch, picking up the save. And for you guys as a team, another win for you guys. That's now 7 in a row. Just talk to me a little bit about the team as a whole and what the vibe is right now. How is your confidence over this 7-game stretch?
Definitely, vibes are really good at the moment. I mean, can't complain. I mean, 7 in a row certainly helps, but I think we've got a good connection going around. Everyone gets along pretty well, and I guess that kind of translates onto the field when we play, and yeah.
You on the mound, I mentioned it during the broadcast. It's so fun to watch you on the mound, the way you command the zone, and got those 2 pitches working so well, that pitch that sails inside to righties, and then that slider that just wipes out down the stretch away from righties. What is it for you on the mound that you like to go to in those counts, and what helps you be so successful?
Kind of whatever's working that night. Nolan calls a pretty good game back there, so I kind of just trust his instincts and go with that. But yeah, kind of just feel it out and just be confident with every pitch I throw.
I think when Nolan was up here, I'm not sure if he ever told you, but when he was up here, he said to us that your arm slot is so hard to pick up for him as a catcher, let alone what it would be like for a hitter in the box. And I think when you were up here as well, we talked a little bit about where that might have come from. When did you develop that arm slot, dropping it down to that lower angle?
I guess that kind of happened about 3 months ago for me. Kind of just feels more natural. It kind of comes out easier. And I've taken this summer to work on it, and it's going pretty good so far.
I'd say it's been going pretty good, and you wouldn't be able to tell it's only been 3 months with the way you've been throwing on the mound. Thanks so much for joining us on the GP Local Postgame Show. Congratulations on the win.
Appreciate it.
Well, Aiden Torpy joining us here for the postgame show, and the Sasquatch coming away with a win. A final score of 12-6. The Sasquatch win this one. Aiden Torpy getting the save, and the Sasquatch win their 7th game in a row and improve to 5-0 in the second half. These two teams back in action tomorrow night. 6:05 first pitch. 5:45 our coverage will begin, and the Sasquatch will try to continue this strong stretch to begin the month of July. So for all of us here at Black Hills Energy Stadium and for the Spearfish Sasquatch, for video production intern Stephen Hogenkamp, I'm Ari Wall. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow night.